passed by multiple cars, as I mentioned earlier on, so Newhoff in a very precarious situation, but he often finds himself in these places. He doesn't qualify as well as he races.
Up front, they are getting with Lee Aberdeen and Luca Varani not very far apart at all here. But I just want to see how Alistair Haig deals with Marcello Kessler coming around the old hairpin.
I would say it's not the best decision they've ever made, just not having done that under the safety car, really.
Yeah, they're taking their pit stop strategies from Ferrari lately or something. What's going on?
In turn one, just too much gas on them, too much feet on the loud pedal, and unfortunately he's dropped him all the way down the order. But Philip Hammer is out in front by an 8.91 seconds. Dan Michael is a wall there, sir. And it definitely doesn't want to be hitting that earlier on as well.
Difficult, the understeer is in the dirty air through that final corner because it's such a long corner and you get dragged off into the grass very easily. He'll have the slipstream down it towards the chicane. Peterson was briefly alongside, but that slipstream has saved him and kept him in third.
Yeah, Varani now lost a little bit of time to Aberdeen, about half a second. Peterson is Pike's pushed Morton forward up ahead. He's got out of line. It's now Pike going to have a go at Werrell. Don't push him off. He's in the championship fight. Jack Werrell chasing down Carl Jacklin. Further down, Rob Williams and Chris Barnes.
Sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still start trouble. He's left on second and change. All of a sudden Miller's back in play.
Moving on to the back end of Phil Jocelyn. So there's been a lot of movers and shakers in this first 2 laps here for race.
Absolutely serious racing league. Everybody's a lot of fun. Yeah, and it's all about the entertainment. So I hope everybody is enjoying themselves out there in the chat. We know that Ron is been enjoying himself watching the Burger King machines off into the grass a little bit there. Is that really bunching up now?
Does he have it?
Medeiros is going to get it. He's on the outside line though, going into the fastest corner on the circuit. Surely this can't work.
Dominic Ligner has got a sensational run outside line now though for the heavy braking zone. Around the outside goes the Audi R8.
Look how much Miller's caught back into play. Exactly. Miller's still such up. He's not on second and change. All of a sudden, Miller's back in play.
Can Barry do it? Big Barry's going to do it. Big Barry!
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome along to the finale of Season 3 in the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship. Ooh, we see a car immediately getting very out of shape over the top of the mountain. But we are here at Bathurst, as you can very much see, for what should hopefully be an enthralling, dramatic, exciting, all the superlatives season finale. My name is Darragh, Thacker, joined of course, as I have been most of the season, or all of the season I should say, by Dean Biggles in the commentary booth. And Dean, we've got a few championships to settle this evening, and you know, a lot can go wrong at Bathurst, so it's just going to be picking your way through, isn't it?
Yes, I can't wait, of course, and I hope to you've packed your Vegemite sandwich in for this action, because we're about to dip and cut through the chase at Murray's before you ride all the way down to the highway of Hell's Corner. But obviously, speaking, as you said, exactly, of the championships. So there it is right now, my friend, for the Premier Series.
Yes, so this is the championship battle that we have in the Premier class. It's Yanis Allbert, the Lepeni racing driver, who's been at the front most of the season, apart from, I think, the opening race in the opening round at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and he is trailed by Luke Lucchesi, a driver who really has had a good run of form of late, really been putting his foot down, trying to close that gap, and it stands at 28 points. Christian Brega, Luke Lucchesi's teammate in the RDSA, esports car, is in P3 with Thomas Pugh, Ewan Stitchbury and Christoph Demeyer in the top 6. Henry Nackery, John Breitenbach, Paul Collishaw and Matt Hoyland currently in the top 10 and will almost certainly be in the top 10, picking up little trophies for themselves. With Aidan Neat, he's been for a couple of rounds, but he was very quick. He's in 11th, and Paul Robson in 12th. But in the Evo class, it's Joe Glass who is leading the way by quite a large margin. He's not won it yet, but all he really has to do is finish the race, or at least if he's in front of Matthew Jones, then absolutely it's done. Matthew Jones effectively has to win both races to have a chance at the title, but Joe Glass will be hoping that he can finish it here at Bathurst. Nathan Crook is in P3, maybe hoping to pick up a P2 with James Ranking, Stephen Donnelly and Javier Talavera in the top 6. Gary Mitchell, Robin Aston, Rob McKee and James Bostock currently in those positions to pick up those trophies, but the gap's back to Hussein, Sarah Cadesla and Matt Barnett aren't big, and they'll be looking to try and pick up a top 10 spot in the championship. In the teams, it's Glasstech Racing holding a 61-point lead ahead of RDSA Esports, and they'll be hoping to bring home the trophies, but it's going to be a tight one to the end. Aura Motorsports, Lepeni Racing and Ludcrook Racing are hoping to finish in the top 5 and pick up their own trophies, with CHR and DXT currently on the outside looking in, but they've got a bit of an uphill task to get inside that top 5. And then finally, to cover, we do have the incident ratings, and the 5 drivers with the lowest incident ratings, or the best you should say, will get $15 iRacing vouchers currently, with 1 round to go. You hope that they can get to the line in time to pick up those vouchers. Thomas Pugh, Luke Lucchesi, John Breitenbach, Ewan Stitchbury and Alex Fretwell for the Premier class. And in the Evo class, it's Matthew Jones, James Rankin, Robin Aston, Stephen Donnelly and currently Dennis Collar. But Dennis Collar and Rob McKee have quite similar ratings, as well as Gareth Newton, so maybe one of those two can try and sneak their way in. But Dean, we're in qualifying now, and you know, qualifying at Bathurst can be quite important. With the 2 30-minute races we've got, with the top 13 being reversed, we could see quite a lot being decided in that final race, particularly in that Premier class.
This is your qualifying. It's important. This is where you need to get a good qualifying, because the mountain is so punishing. And if there's a pile up through there, there's not a lot of space. You could get three wide at best, but if there's cars facing all sorts of directions and stuff like that, then essentially, you know, your race, well, at least one of your heat races, is essentially maybe over. G'day out there, Phil across the pond. I hope you are tuned in. Hope you've got your Vegemite sandwiches all packed and ready to go on this one, because the mountain takes no prisoners. And at the moment, Luke is the man that's happy to put this car on pole. But you know the old age saying, right? You can't win the race on the first lap, but you can certainly lose it as well. So that's something you have to be very, very careful with these drivers of. And yeah, I can't wait. This is the finale of the season, and it's going to be a fun one. They've pretty much done the qualifying, I think. Look at those times real quick there for the top 10. All the way finished second here at Bathurst. And that's not an easy track for everybody to be following up, because the sheer amount of turns you get, and if you just make one small mistake going up and down the mountain, it's cost you like half a sec.
Yeah, I mean, generally, the times are probably going to be quite close all the way through Forest Elbow to Griffin's Bend, realistically, because yes, there are some corners, but, you're not going to be able to gain or lose too much time. So I think you're right. Most of that time is going to be gained and lost on the mountain, where we're seeing Daniel Nans diving his way through the dipper towards Forest's Elbow. But, looking at the times there, Luke Lucchesi, P1, Yannis Albert, P3. There's a car between himself and Lucchesi. But again, like I mentioned, they can be at the front in race 1. But in race 2, they're not just going to be... Well, they're going to be further back in the order. I think that's what I'm trying to make here. They're going to be more susceptible to an incident on the mountain, and it could really shake things up, especially when Lucchesi's trying to gain as many points as he possibly can. Yes, he needs to try to maximise them in race 1, but in race 2, you really don't want to be starting too far back. So there's definitely going to be, I think, a big trade-off that he's going to be going for.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct at the moment there. And this is good for Daniel. I was actually saying before, this is the thing that I was saying in the broadcast chat as well too. We're also broadcasting the 12-hour on the JPB Broadcasting Network of the Bathurst coming up this weekend, so make sure you tune into that one. They'll be covering an Australian team of blokes broadcasted simultaneously on a couple of networks, and the Aussies are three teams, of course, for these Australians, and they are heavily involved in real motorsports as well. So, but keep an eye out for that one. But this is another thing, because I was like, practice your pit stops, gentlemen. Practice your pit stops. You can see Daniel's entrance in there was not so good, and you don't want to be snapping your brake going in there, especially after you're in a grand position, isn't it? Take a pit stop, and then bingo, all of a sudden you've dropped like 5 places. So that's going to be crucial. But you mentioned that as well. I think it's going to be very, very important for the drivers battling in their championship to get these early, get the wins, try to get the win for the first heat. And then that reverse grid, well, it's the mountain, my friend. Anything can happen. It's going to be a luck of a draw on that one. But you want to maximize your points first in the first heat, and then go to that reverse grid, cross your fingers, and close your eyes.
Yeah, well, you can't really close your eyes over the top of the mountain. You've got to keep them as wide as you possibly can, because there are so many opportunities, for instance. But here is the grid for round 1 of the evening, or race 1 of the evening. We're in round 9. Luke Lucchesi, the resurgent man in the second half of the season, will start from pole position. Ewan Stitchbury in second. Yannis Albert, championship leader, in P3. He led the championship at one point by over 115 points over an entire race event, so he really has been pegged back. But can he just cling on? Tristan O'Brega, though, Luke Lucchesi's teammate, will start just behind him, with Paul Caldershaw and John Breitenbach 5th and 6th. Thomas Pugh, Nathan Crook, Jamie Rees and Ryan Ottens in the top 10, with Marcel Breitenbach and Matt Barnett in 11th and 12th. We'll roll on to Joe Glass, the championship leader in the Evo category, with James Bostock, the boss man, alongside him. James Rankin, Paul Robson, Javier Talavera, and Hussein Sarakadesta in P18, with Alex Fretwell and Joe Sparrow rounding out the top 20. Rene Stangl, Stephen Donnelly, Matthew Jones, and Alex Conrads make up the top 24, with James Pallow, John Ludbrook, Gareth Newton, Gary Mitchell, Chris Keenan, Scott Kostrick, and Daniel Nans in the top 31, with Rob McKee, Danny Weir, Graham Matthew, Jamal Gandor, Ashley Brooks in the top 36, with only a few more to go. Kevin Seymour, Matt Hoyland, Robin Aston, and Russell Jakes make up the 40 cars that we're going to have around Bathurst this evening. But before we get to the racing action, we see everyone just starting to load in just behind the pace car. The drivers were voting in the last week, weren't they, Dean, for some of the awards that we have in the Evolution Sim Racing, and I think we can bring them up on screen now. We've got the Drivers Awards for the Premier and the Evo class, and the original livery in the Premier and Evo. And in the end, it's our 2 current championship leaders, Yannis Albert in the Premier class and Joe Glass in the Evo class. I love how that rhymes. With the 2 drivers of the season, so they pick up their $15 iRacing vouchers and the best original livery thing. There's been some cracking ones, haven't there? But in the end, Scott Kostrick has won it for the Premier class and James Bostock for the Evo class. So well done to all 4 of them. I have to admit, I did vote for Gary Mitchell in the Evo class. But James Bostock's livery, very much deserving of the award as well. But there's been some great on-show, and I can just see, I think it's like Yannis Albert with a very brightly covered livery, just in behind these front 2. So well done to all of those 4. And yes, I think it is. in that pink, green, and yellow livery. Striking, I think, is the word that we'd go for that one. But we're just about to get ourselves underway then. Ewan Stitchbury, he's had a change of livery. It was purple and black. It's now a nice mustardy yellow and purple as they run through the final corner. When are we going to get this race underway? The penultimate round of the season here at Bathurst. The lights are on. Luke Lucchese will lead us away. Will he get the start he so desires to try and get his way through up into the championship lead? We are underway at Bathurst into the opening corner. Luke Lucchese with a very comfortable run. It's Yanis Hilbert defending from Tristan Dinobrega through the opening turn as they're 2-3 wide through the mid-pack. But Luke Lucchese with exactly the start he so desired. And it's Yanis Hilbert who is having to fight his way. He's lost the position already to Dinobrega.
It's crucial, as I was explaining before, to Hell's Corner. You've got to get a good exit, otherwise it's going to be pressure, because at the moment you can see Stitchbury's all the way in the back there of Luke Lucchese, but he cannot really overtake up through here. So you're going to drive over my GoPro camera, hello. And then this is where you make your way up through the mountain. This is lovely. And this is where you can get it all pearl-shaped. And these drivers make sure they can't, because if they get it pearl-shaped, the rest of the field behind them have nowhere to go. So far so good. I think the gentlemen realise we do have 30 minutes of our heat. So you don't want to spoil it all at the moment. There's your gainers and losers, of course, on that one. So, yeah, Tristan getting the job done on Yanis, which is good for him. There's tank slappers in the wall. You will see that. And hopefully not too much steering damage. Just to retouch there, for the 12-hour, believe it or not, the Australian racing team that I broadcasted, like we broadcasted last year, sometimes when you're qualifying about P15, P16, if you have a bad qualifying performance, as Matt Hoyland said out there actually in the chat earlier, they actually started in the pit lane because they kind of got a feeling there was going to be a huge accident, and there was a huge accident in the mountains, and therefore they gained all those positions back up later. So, but of course, we don't have 12 hours. The drivers only have 30 minutes. You don't want to be doing that.
Yeah, no, you've not really got enough time to pick it up. It's been actually Nathan Crook. He's been really, really good in the Evo class of late. He is fighting away with Ryan Ottens, who's had an electric start up from P10 to P7 on the opening lap. Just behind him, Matt Barnett as well in the Evo class. It's definitely going to be challenging for the lead here, of course. Joe Glass has a very comfortable lead at the moment, but anything can happen. Matthew Jones, of course, the driver or the only driver, I believe, who can really challenge him, and he's right the way down in. We're looking at nearly 9th, 10th in class at the moment with Joe Glass in front, meaning that as it stands, Joe Glass will be your Evo champion at the end of this race with one race, I should say, to spare. Alex Fretwell early into the pit lane. Maybe trying a bit of an undercut here, we'll have to see. Started a little bit further back than we've seen him in the last few races. Maybe he's just trying to get a bit of an undercut. It was very difficult to overtake here at Bathurst if you're in a bit of a slipstream train. We'll see how this will unfold. Yanis Hilbert, he's close to Tristan Dinobrega, and he needs the points, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. He needs to get this race win, really, at the end of the day, I think, to really keep himself in this championship. And he's probably just hurting himself a little bit, beating himself to say, oh, well, I've just lost that one place off the start. And of course, it's very difficult to overtake him now. Here, you've got to get it done. And I was telling you in the green room as well, too, that the 2 key points of Bathurst, and probably one of the biggest key points, is Forest Elbow. That little dip at the bottom before you go all the way down Con Road straight before the chase and that. You've got to nail that one perfect, because if you don't, and I did see some of these drivers actually, including our race leader at the moment, make a huge mistake and tank slap it out of the elbow, and that just compromises their exit speed. We've had a big accident somewhere at the back here too. And it's Scotty that won the award for the best livery. And this is what happens at the mountain. We've got our first victims.
Yeah, going for the move around the outside. Oh, yeah, a little bit of contact on the entry there. And
you blocked the track at this point.
Car
You've got nowhere to go. And, that's very bold and brave of Scotty to do that, actually. That was pretty admirable of him. He didn't have to tow back into pit road, but at that point, I think he realised it was completely blocking the track. And, hey, that's what it is. That's how it goes.
Oh, but look at Yanis Hilbert now, looking for the move at P3 on Tristan Dinobrega.
Oh, that's bold and
brave. On the front
brave.
and alongside, it was half-hearted. It wasn't committed, and Yanis Hilbert is spinning around his championship, maybe in a little bit of jeopardy. He needs now to ensure he finishes in the top 13 of this race. If he is outside the top 13, he really, really is in danger of losing this championship that he has led for so long. He's led it since mid-December. It's now the end of February. He can't lose it in the last round, can he?
No.
It was that little...
Yeah, Yanis. Oh. This is sort of see if I can go back a little bit at the replay that way, because this is very, very crucial. Because I thought he was a little bit too early on this one. I did. I really thought, like, I would have waited. Don't do it through the chase. easier said than done, of course. I would have got a good run out of Hell's Corner, and then you see he sets up inside. Okay, so if gap car, it does look like there was space, and then you could just say driver contact between them. Did the other driver realise or not? Who knows? I mean, we're only up here. We can see what we can see. We can look at that from 100 views. But it ain't over yet for the man, even though he's dropped 13 places down in P16, because once again, there could be a big pile up on the mountain. He can take huge advantage of it.
Yeah, they could, but it is really damaging for his championship cause. I mean, of course, you've got to think of dropped rounds, of course, in the championship. That adds another little bit of complexity in it. But I think Yannis Albert has dropped Suzuka, if I'm not mistaken, or at least he has to have taken the point from Suzuka, in which he didn't finish. So I don't believe he's really going to be able to be saved in that regard at all. I mean, Luke Lucchesi, I think he's had a very solid season, so I don't know if that would impact him too much if he had a bad result. But either way, Luke Lucchesi currently winning this one, picking up all 50 points for this race. You're looking at Yannis Albert back in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11th in class. That's 15 points. That's 35-point swing. That means that into the final race of the season, it's Luke Lucchesi is the championship leader. We now see Ryan Ottens, who's had an electric start. Started P10.
Oh, and there it is again.
Take advantage. There's contact again. Yes, you just
carbon
said
copy.
P4. Nathan Crooklo's going to take advantage of this one, John Brighton back.
Yeah, this is it's once again. That Chase is a very, very, very difficult place to get the exit data. Of course, you've got so much exit speed, of course, you come out of Conrod straight. But at that point, you're going to go wheel to wheel. And I think the other drivers, of course, are trying to turn in as well, too, because they're sticking to their racing line. That's where it gets a little iffy. See, now I would have been getting on the power right here out of Hell's Corner. Hell's Corner, of course, is named that because it's an absolute hell of a corner to get your entry right and a hell of a corner to get your exit perfect. And at that point, you may, if you're bold and brave, if you're right on the tailgate of that car at the road, then you can send it up here. Now, it's a bold and brave overtaking opportunity. See there right now, it's a little bit too far back, but if it was closer, he wouldn't be able to get Nathan on that for sure. But we'll see. Now at this point, you're just having to sit as a passenger. You're riding shotgun, really. You've got nowhere to overtake, unless of course the driver happens to make a little tangle on the wall and you can sneak something up the inside, but no, it's, yeah, this is also very, very dangerous, but it's so much fun to drive Bathurst.
Yeah, it's just so tight, isn't it? Over the top here through Skyline, you can see John Brighton back riding those curves down in towards the dipper. And it's just so difficult, really, just to judge. It's also somewhat difficult when there's a car close in front of you. You can't see the walls as well as when you've just got a clear track in front of you. So you are more susceptible, I should say, to make a little bit of an error, maybe there. Just tap the wall.
He got a good exit.
Yeah, good exit.
Yeah, that's it. That's the elbow. That's a good exit he got. See, now he's going to have a full run here. He's going to get the slipstream. Now the thing is, where you're going to go on the outside of the inside. This is where you get your overtaking jobs done here, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, before you approach the chase. And that's bingo. That's textbook.
And it's a good move for John Brighton back. Of course, lost it in his battle with Ryan Ottens just down here one lap before. But yeah, good move to retake P5, and he'll be trying to chase back after the man currently in P4. Side-by-side action further back, though. Marcel Brighton back is watching. I think that's James Rankin and James Bostock going at it. And look at Yannis Albert. Yannis Albert might be trying to take advantage of this as they come in towards the final corner. He's currently P15. He can see P13. He desperately needs, if anything, that mistake, if he's able to get to the reverse grid pole or second, that mistake could genuinely help him more in the championship with increased points in race 2. But of course, it's a very, very risky game to be playing in towards the inside in the first corner. He's going to try and get through on James Rankin, use the slipstream effect that's coming off the back of the Ferrari of Marcel Brighton back. And Yannis Albert is going to do his absolute best to try and make the move and complete it before we reach Griffin's Bend. And I think he will just about do so. I don't think James Rankin's going to fight this one too hard. In the end, Yannis Albert, he's up into P14, but he needs to get through on Marcel Brighton back here.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be very cautious if he's going to try it around here. Oh, my friend, you got to remember, you got to get some crucial points here, and you are so far back in the field here. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is a great overtaking opportunity. So there it is. Yannis showing his mastermind skills that are getting up through the mountain, at the top of the mountain before he climbs back down. Good job. But I don't know if Marcel actually put up a massive fight on that one, but either way, brilliant racing, and you ain't out of it yet there, Yanis, because he's got James, the boss man, up the road currently, round 2.
Yeah, I think that was Matt Barnett going very slowly that we saw as Yanis flying through, and yes, he is right on the back of James Bostock now, and I think he might get through pretty quickly indeed. But the thing is here for Yanis Hilbert, currently he's in P9 in class, and Luke Chase is currently P1. That's a 29-point swing. The gap at the front of the championship would be, as it stands right now, 1 point in favour of Luke Lucchese. But Yanis Hilbert would start that much further forwards, and Luke Lucchese would have to finish in front. So Yanis Hilbert making the move here on James Bostock. If anything, this spin might actually put him in a more comfortable position for race 2.
Yeah, he might be definitely thinking about race 2 right now. To get yourself in a good position with that. 2 overtakes is done automatically in 1 lap, essentially. Or 3, actually, did the one earlier. So he's definitely making his way back up to the field. Now he's only dropped 8. Matt Barnett, I think, has gone on the pit road. Yes, he has. So he's going to take an opportunity there. Sometimes, as I was saying before, too, take an early pit stop, and we've seen it before, haven't we? With the Republic of South African drivers, the RDSA team. They get it, they box early sometimes if there's a lot of traffic. At this point, they're too far up the road to really worry about that. You may see that in race 2. We are got another little battle at the pack here at the moment there with John, Gary, and Matthew Jones.
Yeah, as we see Gary trying to defend the inside up towards Griffin's Bend we go, and Gary defends that one nicely. John Lubbock just sitting in behind, waiting. I mean, he'll be chomping at the bit if you excuse the pun, considering that he's right behind that caramel livery car.
Oh, no, that's a good one. I didn't realise.
Yeah,
good job.
I only realised I was saying it halfway through. I'm not disappointed by it. I can't lie to you. But coming back down the mountain, we see Ryan Otton's being tailed by John Breitenbach, Nathan Crook, Paul Cole. A bit of a train forming here as they dive down the mountain. Just over a third of the way through this race as well. Pit stops. Got to be thinking about them soon.
Yes, and whether the Joe's drivers have practiced their pit stops, as I said. I've said in the chat, like, practice your pit stops. Another thing I did see a couple of drivers do. If you have a spin in anywhere in the mountain section, it's not easy to turn the cars around, right? Your turning circle's not so great. You've got to hit the gasoline. You've got to turn it the right train, put the right power down, flick the car around, and then turn it. Very, very difficult to do, but you've got to be able to mastermind it. Otherwise, when you're stuck in the road, just as you saw there with Scott, you've got to tow back home. But that's probably, once again, going more for the endurance 12-hour, because you don't want to get a tow too often in the endurance races, but because they're a little bit more spread out per se than what you'll find here today with 40 of our lovely gladiators battling out. We'll see. Here we go. Let's see whether or not our what was it called? Springback. There he is. He's got to spring his way past.
Yeah, we'll have to see if he can launch himself in towards P4. You mentioned earlier as well, you've got to get a good exit out of Hell Corner. It's exactly what he's got. Rising over the little crest before diving back down. Rising up again just before he gets Griffin's Bend. But John Breitenbach not quite close enough. Yeah, he thought about it, but then he realised it's a bit of a dangerous move there as they bounce their way over the curbs. But yes, just thinking mind for now. Ryan Ottens, though, surely will probably lead us over the mountain. A little bit of a rear slide, it seemed, coming through the corner right at the cutting. But yeah, looking all right for these two at the moment. But like I said, pit stops maybe this lap, maybe next. It's a 2-minute lap, so I mean, if they don't pit this lap, they're going to be going more than half the race to for the pit stop.
This is, and also it's hard for Sean here, John, to get anything, because I mean, once again, we're looking at a South African domination here at the moment. You got Luke leading this one. Stitchburg is the only one that's not South African in P2. Then you have Tristan P3, Ryan in this P4 position up the road there, and then this man in P5, all from South Africa. So I guess they're like they love Australia, mate. You know, we all play rugby, we all play cricket. They all speak English. We're very similar, actually. Somebody had mentioned that Australians and South Africans are one of the two closest nations to find in culture and history and all that sort of stuff. So there you have it. And they're loving Bathurst.
Yeah, I know, because I was thinking that
British
well, no, yeah, because you mentioned rugby. I thought it was Australia versus South Africa, the Rugby World Cup final, but no, that was New Zealand, wasn't it? Yeah. But anyway, near enough. It's the two nations down there that
Stitchberry's in. So
yeah,
undercut here. This is going to be crucial. He's not the only one. Nathan's in
as well.
Yep.
and Paul Kohler-Short. So that 2 members of that train as well coming to the pit lane. And we'll have to see if they can work the undercut. But of course, with the field relatively spaced out at the moment, got to think of maybe, got to be worried about a little bit of traffic on pit exit. Some guys who haven't stopped yet maybe don't have the pace here at Bathurst, not their favoured track, don't quite have the confidence required over the mountain. And so that was Yannis Aubert going through, but of course he's not yet made his pit stop as Ewan into his box. He's waiting in that Mercedes car. When will he leave? Where will he come out? That's going to be important for him. He's leaving the pit lane now, and there's a couple of cars that have just gone in front. John Ludbrook and Matthew Jones, I think. Yes, he's going to be not too far behind those two. Rest is getting held up a little bit here.
He's got clear air. And this is why your qualifying is very, very important as well, too, because we saw the exit out of the pit road. So he was in the number 2 spot, remember? So it's actually probably even better to be in that number 2 spot, although I didn't see the cone on the exit. So, because you got that blue cone to go around. If you cut on that blue cone, you get a penalty. So, obviously, they always say that P1 is the best pit stop box, but I don't know. P2, P3 might be okay in that point, at that case. So we'll see. As you can see, this 2 battling it out. Now, it's going to be interesting to see. Now we've got the 2 partners, of course, and this is crucial for them in this, remember, in the championship too, for the constructors, because currently at the moment they're leading 1-2, and they're Joe Glassiclaws from the Glasstake Racing Team, the ones that are just leading that. So if they want to wrap this up with not only a drivers' championship but also a teams' championship, that'll be interesting. Trishan's way down the road actually as well too. There he is. So, and you know what happens, right? If Luke goes in, Trishan goes in. We've seen it all season long, and they did actually say in the chat later on. There it is. They did actually say in the chat, because I think we mentioned last week about, you know, how at the start of the season they said, look, we're racing each other. We're not going to give the positions back. But they did say, yes, we're going to do that because, of course, it's very important to win the Drivers' Championship. And I can't blame them this late in the season, as everybody comes in.
Yeah, it looked like John Brightback maybe trying to make the move, and in fact, actually, I think he has, made the move on Ryan Ottens into the pit lane. So, a little bit of rubbing as well as they come in towards their box. That is incredibly tight as they run their way into their pit boxes. But Ryan Ottens there, maybe. I think he's had the world pulled over his eyes a little bit.
Here it is, final corner. He's coming around at the moment, so remember he boxed earlier. He needs to take a huge advantage of this one. Oh, somebody completely missed their pit box stop as well too. And then exiting it out, there's Luke. Let's see if we can get a picture on that one. There's Luke.
There he is.
And there's Stitchberry. So, hasn't really paid off. But has he gained a little bit from it?
As we see everyone else coming out of the pit lane. Now, Yannis Aubert's now actually filtered his way to P10. He's fighting his way with Jamie Rees now. I think Jamie Rees had pitted the lap before. And they're now going to be going at it down in towards Griffin's Bend. Let's see. A little bit too far back, I think, after the momentum benefit that Jamie Rees had there. But Yannis Aubert currently P10, P9 in class. But he's still there or thereabouts. I mean, if he's able to start P4 in race 2 and Luke Chase is back in P13, he's got a great chance at the title here, because all he really needs to do is finish in front of Luke.
And you're right. And you got to remember too, Yannis has also had to do the overtakes so far, right? He's had to get those overtakes done. So he's got that little bit of experience up his sleeve. Remember, Luke Latrese there hasn't overtaken anybody. He's been leading this race since the start there, so he's just been a smooth operator. But, you know, there's one thing to catch, there's another thing to overtake. So that little bit of experience right now from Yannis may pay big dividends coming into Heat 2.
Down they dive through the S's, through the dipper towards Forrest's elbow, and Yannis will be very much hoping to try and set up Jamie Rees here. And get the run here out of Forrest's elbow down.
This is where you got to get it. Oh, yeah. Did he get a good exit out of the elbow?
I think he's got a good slipstream here. I think he's definitely going to have a chance down into the Trace this time.
Depends on the high speed, of course, between the Beamer. You would have to say the Lambo should have a little bit more, but that depends how he's tweaked it. Oh, here we go. That's going to be Bolton Brapeson up the inside here. You know what happened earlier there, Yannis? It's the same thing happened again.
Oh!
He's done it twice.
It's rinse and repeat. It is Control C, Control V, realistically, and he's got to be careful. Oh, my word. Back onto the racing line, he emerged back onto the track, and I think that was Joe Glass that he just emerged in front of. There's lights flashing galore as they run in towards the final corner here. But Yanis
He's got to calm down. He's got to calm down.
He's still in P13 though. That is the crucial thing here. He's still in P13. One more mistake could really be costly. But as long as he's inside that top 13, he can be okay. He's got a big enough gap in the championship that even if he loses this many points in race 1, in race 2 he really only needs to win the race to bring home the title, but he's not making it easy for himself. And I mean, you would have thought he learned from the first time.
Yeah, I know, but remember he got a couple of successful overtakes later on after that, right? But he got the overtake done before the second turn of the chase. His biggest Achilles heel right now is the second chase turn, because you're trusting too much in the other driver not to turn in a little bit. There's not a lot of space there, and then unfortunately every single time it's come together with somebody. So at this point, you've got to be like, don't try it there, back off a little bit, and then once again, see if you can get him out of Hell's Corner and then chase him up through there, because he's certainly got the pace. There's no denying that one at all. As Paul did get past Thomas, Nathan Cook, sorry, my apologies. And then Thomas is lurking just a little bit down the background. Now, Yanis, of course, still putting up a massive fight, and why not? I mean, but at this point, 10 minutes to go, I don't think you're going to tell this driver not to overtake somebody, but he's in a good position to sit through the reverse grid.
Develops in race 2, of course. I think that's really where we're going to see many of the storylines come to fruition. In the teams battle, Lucchese and Dino Brega doing a very good job in first and third. We see Thomas P now getting a run in towards the chase. Is he going to go for it? Oh, it's very, very late. Oh, no!
That's
he
massive.
tagged the rear of Nathan Crook. He tagged him, yeah. And that is pretty much race over for Nathan Crook. That is a spectacular way to go through the chase. Not the ideal line. Banging his way into the barrier once again as he emerges back onto the track. Gotta be careful. Is that Joe Glass again? I think it is.
Joe Glass as well too, and Yanis that were coming
emerging
through
onto the racetrack.
Yeah, that's huge. And Nathan, of course, has been absolutely a machine of late, hasn't he? He's been a machine. He's been winning a lot at the end of the season here. I don't think he's going to get Joe Glass now, of course, as we know Joe Glass is leading this one. But yeah, let's have a look at it. That's a toughie, isn't it? He gets. I don't know if he gets tagged back here. It's really hard to say, and that's a huge impact. Oh, because you're high speed at the bottom of the mountain here too. That is like, that would have knocked the wind out of him if that was real life. But I'm sure he's going to be in that car right now, isn't he? Considering that, but his championships were there, right? But he has to win every single race and have Joe Glass have a bad result. Well, win the class.
Realistically, it was never on for Nathan Crook. I mean, Joe Glass has all but won the title. I think just attending tonight has effectively sealed it.
That's right, here it is. Yeah, it's Matthew Jones who has an outshot. Yeah, but Matthew, of course, currently running in. Where is Matthew? He's behind. He's way behind Joe Glass. So Joe Glass is looking solid in this one.
Yes, as it stands in this race, Joe Glass will be your GT3 Evo champion for the Evolution Sim Racing Season 3, and congratulations to him if it can stay like this. I mean, even if he doesn't win the race, even if he crashes out now, I think he's still got it in the bag, as we see James Bostock diving down the mountain. But yeah, I was just, before we got to that crash, I was just touching on the fact that Luke Lucchese and Christian Obrega, the RDSA team, going along in first and third at the moment, doing very, very well. And of course, in the championship, they're fighting away with Glass Tech, which is Joe Glass and Matthew Jones. And Joe Glass and Matthew Jones are, if we can see it, Joe Glass, of course, I believe he is the leader in his category, but Matthew goes a bit further down, yeah. So
where's Matthew Jones? Matthew Jones is...
He's 8th in class. So they're first and 8th in class compared to first and third. So, you know, never trust a commentator's maths, but I can definitely tell you that means that the difference in their 2 points at the moment is 16 going into race 2, meaning that as it stands, we're looking at a 45-point championship in the team. So it's looking comfortable enough for Glass Tech at the moment.
Oh,
yeah, here comes Matt Hoyland.
How about this for driver of the day? Matty did tell us, and he had a quick little chance there. Oh, as he almost gets into contact. But once again, Matty doing an absolute drive to survive here. For the Drive to Survive Netflix series, of course, for Formula 1 starting up soon. But his horrible qualifying performance, but his 21 positions gain with a pit stop, looking to make that 22.
exactly.
That's not impressive, and that's Bathurst too, my friend. You know, there's only
exactly.
two or three overtaking opportunities at best you get in this track.
And with only 13 or 14 laps in a race as well, so you're really not looking at that many places where you can try and make the moves. He's doing an incredible job so far.
Somewhere up the road. Sorry about that one. I think that's Joe. Joe's been having another moment. Joe's not really having the race that he wants here. And that's contact out of... are we seeing out of chase again? No, it's final corner.
Final corner, yeah.
Oh, here we go. I thought they're going to start doing onesies and Rocket League. I saw two cars do that, actually. It's perfect for him to go back in the pit road right
now.
No,
that is the best line I've ever seen into the pit lane. Full credit to him for finding that.
It was a racing league, I think, here on the JP Broadcasting Network, where two cars were onesies. So if you've ever played Rocket League, you have two drivers that just keep pushing each other, and they're trying to push each other, you know, from nose to nose. And they just sit there and do that while the rest of the players are playing. But they were doing that the other day. I was like, they were doing onesies. All right, well, the top two, Stitchberry, I don't think is going to be able to cut this lead that Luke Tracy has at the moment. I think Luke's got this one in the bag with, you know, bit of time. He could probably back off a little bit through the mountain. But this is the man that's not backing off. That's for sure. And that's probably the exciting battle you're seeing on track right now through the chase.
Yeah, we see is Matt Woodendall getting very close to the back of Alex Brockwell now, maybe having a run into the final corner. Let's see, he's going to have the outside line, going to be difficult. That red car is giving him some room as they run their way to start what will be,
switch back. That's what you want to do. Oh, he's winning the outside. Now he's going to have the inside line. Oh, no, this is coming out the Hell's Corner. No. There's door banging. Now, you want to switch it through here. No, he's going to hold it on tight. Now, he will actually have the position, and he's going to have the way up from the mountain on the ultimate racing line. So, good job there. Another position gain there for Matt. You'd imagine if his qualifying performance was better this time. Like, he's had two bad qualifying performances. He would be right up at the top of the timesheets.
He had the grip and the confidence around the outside there to just pull off the move. It's difficult when you're on the inside because you never really know where that car's going to be on the outside. But on the outside, you know where the track limit's going to be, so you really know exactly when to push the throttle. Here's Gareth Newton going at it with Hussein Sarakadesla, one of the drivers trying to pick up a top 10 finish in the championship. But these two really going at it side by side, up in towards as they run into the cutting. But I think Sarakadesla now has that one in the bag for now. Of course, we've got a couple of laps to go. Where is Luke Lucchese on the track? He's nearing the line, so I think we're going to have 2 more laps to go here. In fact, we almost certainly will have 2 more to go. So for these guys, 2.5 as they run through. But Luke Lucchese then, coming into the final corner now. It's a 2-minute lap. We've got 2 minutes 40 left. Got 2 more laps to go then, Dean.
Yep, you do. More action at the back here. It's going to be up through the mountain, actually going side by side. That's not suggested you'd hear the cars in the background, actually, on my microphone, can't you? That's how much they're screaming by casting box. So, great little battle brewing there. Of course, another little battle brewing at the moment here. And this is Joe Glass, of course, under attack there from James. So, Joe Glass, of course, has to be thinking a little bit more about, well, he knows that he's got the Drivers' Championship for the Evo class, but he's got to be thinking about the Teams' Championship more than anything, isn't it? So, I don't think Joe Glass is going to want to hold on and let this one pass at all. I think he's going to have to hold off James big time here.
Yeah, it's going to have to try and do his best at the moment to hold off James Rankin, but Joe Glass still leading Evo class. Of course, Joe Glass, James Rankin and James Bostock, the 3 Evo drivers, might find themselves 1, 2 and 3 in the reverse grid here, which will be very exciting to see. But Yannis Albert will be the lead Premier driver, which will be what he cares about. Currently down in 10th, of course, so that's another couple of points lost. It was 28 points that we mentioned going into tonight, but as it stands, going into the final race, will be a 4-point margin in favour of Luke Lucchese, but Yannis Albert will have the more favourable starting grid position, I think it's fair to say. P4 compared to P13 at the moment. But I mean, if he really wanted to, Yannis Albert could fall back behind Joe Glass, James Rankin and James Bostock, not lose any points in the Premier class, but start from pole instead. I mean, I'm not suggesting that he does that, but he could do that.
Oh, you know what? Really to be honest, that's actually not a bad strategy. If he's going to have to do it, he's going to have to do it pretty soon, because our race leader's going down into the chase, and I don't know if they will get another lap in, as you mentioned. Some of these camera angles are really horrible, but yeah. But Joe Glass is a little bit further down there. I can't see Yannis at this point. Yannis will have to lift off massively to allow them through. So we'll see. That's going to be a big strategy. But here is our race leader approaching the final corner there. We'll get another lap in. Should see Barney for a white flag because he just crossed it now. And yes. So another lap. And that'll be the opportunity because James is battling it out here with Joe Glass up the road. And I don't know if Yanis, you can just see Yanis in the chop. Hitches up the inside there from James. Late dive. Can he make it stop in time? He did. Wow, I didn't think he could. Now that's interesting for Joe Glass because Joe Glass just dropped a little couple of crucial points there, remember, for the championship hunt that they're trying to battle. And he's well aware that, you know, the other two RDSA racing team in the second championship are 1 and 3 currently at the moment. So I don't know if Joe's really focusing on doing math at this point, or he's just focusing on Bathurst not biting you and taking your car out.
Yeah, but we are on the final lap of this opening round of the evening, penultimate round of the season, as we see Joe Glass get close, but is he going to be close enough to make the move? Oh, he's looking for it. I thought he'd pulled back into the slipstream, but he's putting his nose up there. We've seen it before where some drivers try and just put the driver in front off their line, try and scare them off the racetrack a little bit.
Can't go side by side through here, gentlemen. Do not try that one there, Joe. You're going to need some tyre power there and some bow repairs. As some of the advertisers in Australia, of course, it's like bow repairs, like a repairing your car company in Australia. You don't want any of that, my friend. You're definitely wise to left on that one, Joe, because that would have been a ton of points lost because you get crash up there. You got Paul Robson, Matt Barnett, Matt Hoyland, of course, charging on a rampage down the road there. But here is a man that's charging through the chase for the last time for our Heat 1 race.
Yeah, Luke Lucchese, he really has been the class of the field in the last few rounds. He's got pole this evening, and he's going to finish race 1 off in style. He's not looked like anyone's been near him. No one could touch him in this race, and Luke Lucchese is going to go into the final round of the season in the lead of the championship for the first time in the year. So It's going to be dramatic. It's going to be exciting. Ewan Sitchbury second, Tristan Darragh in P3, John Breitenbach fourth, and Ryan Ottens in fifth. Paul Coldershaw, Thomas Pugh, Marcel Breitenbach ran at the top 8 with Yanis Albert in P9. Make that P10. He's doing exactly, or is he doing it?
Yanis almost got past there for a second, James. No,
but he's doing exactly what I said he would do.
He's allowing him through. You were right. He's allowed him through. Did he? Yes, he did. Didn't he? Yanis was ahead of them?
I don't know if he's going to let James... Yanis was ahead of them, yeah.
He's got to.
Because he still picks up the same amount of points as he would have done, but now he's going to stop P3.
Yes.
Paul Robson, of course, will start on pole. That kind of messed up his strategy a little bit, but he's still got P9 in the class. It does now mean that Luke Lucchese leads the championship by a single point, but it means that Yanis Albert starts P3 and Luke Lucchese starts P13. It's a big strategy play.
Yeah, you've got to at this point, isn't it? You've got to throw everything kitchen sink at it because you know that's it. Like, this is it. This is the very last race right now in our heat to try to do anything you possibly can. And if that's going to gain you track position, which we know in Bathurst is key, then he's got an opportunity. As long as he get a good race start and not drop a place like he did earlier. And then he's now got to really talk to his team and say, look, all right, 2 mistakes out of the second corner of the chase. All right, now I've let you learn by your mistakes. You move on from that one, but don't take it away from his overtaking ability. A fantastic job on that one. We'll get those results up in a second for you. A few more drivers are still scooting their way around. The chat's all quiet at the moment. I guess because you're all just snacking on your Vegemite sandwiches. And yeah, I fired up the barbecue earlier. Did you like that kangaroo meat I threw on there? First time you tried the kangaroo?
Sure. I've never had kangaroo meat. I don't suppose I'm going to be having it anytime soon. And neither Vegemite. I don't like Marmite, and Vegemite sounds far too like
well, if
Marmite.
You don't like Marmite, yeah, you won't like Vegemite because Marmite's
it scares me. The sound of Vegemite scares me, if I'm honest.
Vegemite's way stronger than Marmite. Like, I prefer Vegemite over Marmite, but sometimes over here where I am and the Americas and stuff, it's not easy to get Vegemite, and sometimes you get Marmite. So I'll have to substitute Marmite for that. Let us know in the chat. Phil, do you like Vegemite or Marmite? And anybody else that's... I know we have a lot of drivers. May come in for a bit of a chat because they're going to do a little bit of a warm-up. We'll get those results from Heat 1 coming up for you right now.
Here they are then for round one, or race. I keep saying round one. Race one of the final round of the season. Luke Lucchese is now, I believe, if my math serves me correctly, which I think it is, the championship leader by a single point. Ewan Stitchbury second, Tristan Nebrega finished in third with John Breitenbach, Ryan Ottenson, Paul Colishaw in the top 6. Thomas Pugh, Marcel Breitenbach top 8, with James Rankin and Joe Glass rounding off the top 10. Yannis Albert, he's relinquished the championship lead for the first time since the opening night of the season by a point, but he will start from P3 because it'll only be James Bostock and Paul Robson in front of him on the grid. Matt Barnett, Matt Hoyland, the two Matties always seem to be next to each other on the track in 14th and 15th, with Alex Fretwell and Gary Mitchell in 16th and in 17th. Javier Talavera, Alex Cohenratz and Nathan Crook, after that big crash, still managed to find himself in the top 20, with Matthew Jones and Kevin Simon in 22nd. Gareth Newton, Hussein, Saraka Dessler, Chris Keenan, John Lubrook and Rob McKee around at the top 27 as we roll on further to Jamal Gandor, Danny Weir, Ronnie Stangl and Russell Jakes, Gray Matthew, Jamie Rees and Ashley Brooks with the 34 drivers on the lead lap. Daniel Nans, Roman Aston and James Pallow were not just far off, having been lapped with Joe Sparrow, Stephen Donnelly and one more driver, Scott Koskarick, who of course crashed. We saw that at the top of the mountain, but got out of the way as quickly as he could.
Scotty's not registered, actually, believe it or not. I can't actually show Scotty, so I don't know what happened there, but he was in the race, as we saw. Scotty will obviously get that consolation prize, won't he, that we mentioned there before, and we'll show that really quickly with the driver awards again. So you get something to put on your shelf, of course, and for one thing, you get a $15 iRacing voucher, which always comes in handy, so we could buy another car or another track.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there's so much on. There's so much to buy on iRacing, isn't there? So,
I know that for a fact. My friend, thousands of dollars later, just to broadcast them. I don't even drive these cars, but it is certainly fun to entertain everybody here. All the broadcasting that I do, and of course I'm at Bathurst, so I'm as happy as a pig in, you know what they say. I keep that one. Yeah. Now,
I should just say all of this, of course, very quickly. Whilst we've been talking about the Premier class and Yannis Albert through, Joe Glass is, of course, now officially your Evo champion. No one can catch him. He's had a fantastic run all season long. We'll probably, or very hopefully, speak to him post race. But he really has driven a fantastic season. You can see there 4 wins, 3 seconds, and a third before coming into tonight. And I mean, he really has been the class of the field, isn't he?
He has, and I would have thought like Matthew Jones as well too. Like, you know, look at that. Matthew's only got like consecutive amount of podiums, but then his consistency in there didn't get anything at the rest of the season. But look at that, all those 4s, a 5, a 4, or 5, just always missing out the podium, but still just ahead of Nathan, who's been a machine of late. As I said, look at that. You got Nathan with the most amount of race wins, 5 race wins in the season, and yet you're P3 in the championship. It goes to show you that race winning all the time, because, you know, the first round hurt him, and obviously they did not finish round 6 as well as those painful ones. We've gone back to this. We talked about it all the way through the season. Some of the drivers just go, you know, oh God, he crashed out on, you know, lap 1 of the race, so that's it, I'm going to pull in the pits and retire. And it's going to come back and bite you, because, you know, he could steal a P2 from Matthew Jones here. But where did Nathan finish in this one? Nathan was involved in some incidents, wasn't he? So that's something to work out. That's the battle for P2 in that championship. That's for sure. And because Matthew as well, too, remember, for the Glass Tech Racing team, they have to battle, of course, the RDSA esports team for that 61-point difference before tonight.
And of course, they finished 1st and 3rd in race 1, the RDSA boys. Meanwhile, if we can try and pull up either the results for race 1 or the grid for race 2, we can try and work out how many points Glass Tech picked up. And then we can try and see how many points we've got. So Glass Tech, of course, top 12 finished Joe Glass. Joe Glass came 2nd, and then his teammate Matthew Jones finished in class, because that's the difference. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. So Gary Mitchell was 5th. I'll have to try and work it down from
Yeah, you will,
there.
because I'm going to pull up the grid because they're about to get ready for the final race of the season here at Evolution Sim Racing, where there is going to be a battle for the championship. Over to you to call the grid out, please.
Paul Robson then will be on pole for the final race of the season. James Bostock, the boss man, is going to have a front row seat for this final tour of season 3. Yannis Hilbert and Joe Glass 3rd and 4th, with James Rankin starting in P5. Marcel Breitenbach and Thomas Pugh 6th and 7th. Paul Caldershaw, Ryan Ottens and John Breitenbach in the top 10. Tristan O'Brega and Ewan Sitchbury in 11th and 12th, with pole sitter and race 1 winner Luke Lucchese. I forgot his name there for a second. In P13, Matt Barnett in 14th with Matty Hall in 15th, and Alex Fretwell in 16th. Gary Mitchell, Javier Talavera, Alex Conradt and Nathan Crook in the top 20. Matthew Jones in 21st position, with Kevin Simon, Gareth Newton and Hussein Sarah Cadesta running up the top 24. We look back to Chris Keenan, John LeBrook, Rob McKee and Jamal Gandor in the top 28, with Danny Weir and Rene Stangl rounding out the top 30. It's Russell Jakes, Graham Matthew, Jamie Rees, Ashley Brooks, Daniel Nans and Robin Aston in the top 36, with the man from Jersey, James Pallow in 37th, Joe Sparrow 38th, Stephen Donnelly 39th, and Scott Kostrick in 40th. But We've got a lot to decide here, Dean. The Premier Championship, there is 1 point in it, just a single point. It couldn't be tighter. Well, it could, realistically, by 1 point. But, I mean, a few weeks ago, we never would have expected this. To have a 1 point championship going into the final race of the season. Realistically, whoever finishes in front, Yannis Hilbert or Luke Lucchese, will take home both the Premier title and, of course, the overall ESR GT3 title for Season 3. We're about to get underway. Here comes Paul Robson. The lights will be on for a very short amount of time as they run up. This is one more race to go. 30 minutes of racing. And Paul Robson will lead us away. James Bostock and Yannis Hilbert in 2nd and 3rd. But Yannis down the inside of the opening corner. He'll take P2 immediately off James Bostock. And he's going to be doing as much as he can to take the lead and run away in this race.
That's crucial. That's absolutely crucial to get that position gained early. We knew he was going to be fighting spirit. He's going to have to steal that race win here to really bring it. I mean, this is almost like Formula 1, isn't it? Max Verstappen versus Lewis Hamilton for 1 point separating them at the end of the season. And we have it right here on the Evolution Sim Racing as all the drivers are going to make their way up the mountain and hopefully safe there. You're going to see a bit of a squabble at the back here. This is going to get sketchy here big time if somebody doesn't back off and lift. Otherwise, you're going to see cars piling up everywhere, which is also very bad, of course, for the likes of Stitchbury, Tristan and Luke that are behind all of this gaggle of cars.
And this is a feature of a reverse grid race. You've got faster drivers behind the slower drivers, especially as you get to the skyline. We might see a little bit of incident. Let's see then as they fly through the left. And they'll fly once again through another left before diving down towards the dipper. As John Breitenbach we're looking at here up in front and nearly too wide down in towards the S's. Who is that? I think it's Thomas Pugh and Joe Glass. They're going side by side. This could really concertina the field up as Joe Glass now goes side by side with Ryan Ottens. There's contact. Oh, they just about keep it out of the walls, but Joe Glass now down to P8. He started P4, and that's not the greatest of starts for him. But I think we've managed to survive going over the mountain in these top 13 at least.
And guess what?
But yeah, look at Yannis. This could be the move for the championship, realistically.
Yep, here it is. He's going to see him come back. He's going to do it before the first corner of the chase because he's learnt about this. Don't do it on the second corner of the chase. Because Paul Robinson, is he going to put up a massive fight on this one? Here it up in the inside. Yannis has taken lead of this race and he needs to do this. He needs to hold on for the rest of the 30 minutes on this one. And perhaps that Drivers' Championship trophy may be his. He's done everything he had. He's got the 2 places gained at the start of the race. So the rest of it is all going to come down to his pit stop strategy and everything else. And nearly those drivers jumping in. And there it is. We actually have early pit stops once again from the RDSA team.
Traffic here is going to be an absolute killer, so you've got to get out of it as quickly as possibly can. Yannis Hilbert doesn't have traffic to worry about. He doesn't need to worry about a pit stop until it really suits him. He can just go in whenever because he doesn't have that problem of traffic. Realistically, for Luke Lucchese, Yannis Hilbert's going to have something almighty go wrong for him to take any kind of title here because he's got to finish in front, but Yannis Hilbert leads the race.
Exactly, and I think you called it. You called it there, didn't you? Like, I mean, after that incident and when he had a couple of incidents and it's all about the qualifying position to make sure he got himself in a nice, good, grid position, of course, with the reverse grid. And that's exactly what he needed. Got the 2 drivers that he needed to get past. Took who was it, James into turn 1 and then got Paul out of the chase. So I don't think Paul and James are going to be able to catch him, so he's going to have a nice cruisy as he's going to make his way up through the mountain. But this is a battle here brewing. Is he going to be tangling against the wall there? That's Marcel. I can't believe that these drivers are actually going two abreast up through here, my friend, and they're all still pointing the right direction.
I think that was James Rankin actually that tapped the wall a little bit coming over the skyline just in behind him, that green and yellow car. Looks lovely, I should say, that green and yellow car.
Yeah, it's almost like
a team with green and yellow on their shirts, but it looks great that he's defending Thomas Pugh. Doesn't want to strike in that paintwork by tapping the wall here and there. Allows Thomas Pugh a little bit of a chance down towards the chase. We see Marcel Breitenbach maybe looking for it as well. They're all getting really close, but Marcel, I think, closer here is going to go for the inside down into the chase. James Bostock, the boss man, not going to fight it too hard, I don't think, but they're going to be side by side into the second part of the trace as James Bostock inside line. Can he keep this move?
This is when they turn into
each other. It's going to be so close to contact. Oh. But what a move for James Bostock. He fought off the challenge there from Marcel brilliantly.
I'm wondering at that point is like, when you're up against the boss man, do you think it goes to the driver's mind and go, oh, just ease it a little bit because I don't want to get in trouble? I don't know if it goes through. I mean, I know for a fact James was like, he would like to fight people. He's not going to use his God powers on. There it is. This big pile up, and that's going to be hurting a lot of people coming around that corner. They're on the racing line. So there's Marcel. There's the boss man in the fence. And
what were you just saying about people being kind to
just completely beat that out of the broadcast because that's completely incorrect. Prove me wrong.
No, I think maybe I don't know if it was expected that we would see that Marcel thought that James would still be on the outside there, but either way, contact and big moments. Joe Glass though up into P5 once again. That's helped him out a little bit. Currently leading the Evo class, and if he can lead the Evo class, maximum points for him and the team. Of course, 37 points is the gap in favour of Glass Tech Racing coming into this round, and you'd say that they have the advantage. Joe Glass in a preferential position in the Evo class with Tristan de Nobrega and Luke Lucchese further back in the Premier class. So it's looking good for Glass Tech, but they've just got to bring it home.
Yeah, I'm wondering at the moment if he's going to... are you not going to allow this driver at the moment to get a pass? But I wonder if Joe's going to be like continuing in his pace here or let this man through, the 172, out of the elbow.
Hang on, sorry, Luke Lucchese. Sorry to cut in. Luke Lucchese, he's dropping down the order. What's happened to Luke Lucchese? Oh, it's Chris Keenan. Oh, there's a thing there. Luke Lucchese. Oh, he spun around. He had spun around down at, of course, at the cutting. And Luke Lucchese, that's going to be surely his title hopes, spinning away in front of him as well.
And Matt Hoyland, I wonder if they've come together. It's not the first time this season that they haven't come together. Here it is. There's contact for sure between the drivers. Here's Luke.
Is that not you in 6?
Oh,
it is.
And he's stuck here. He's got to get it round, and everybody's back. He's backed everybody up. This is very, very frustrating for a lot of drivers, but this is why I've said for practicing for the Bathurst 12-hour, practice the way to turn your car around somehow. It's damaged the front and the back there. Let's see what we can do, but this is huge for the championship now.
Yeah, and you just feel like it's going to be a procession now for Yanis, but Yanis can't make any mistakes either. But yeah, not good for Luke at all. I mean, all Yanis needs to do is drive. Oh, as we now see. Oh, is this a replay? Or is Keenan? Yeah, having problems over the mountain.
This is Robin.
Oh, and that's someone. Oh,
that's what's happened. I think it's thrown off everybody else because you may see this as Robin's going to come down here, probably flat out, of course, as you would be. And there it is. Bang! Look at that. Nowhere to go, my friend. That's what happens when the mountain punishes you. And at that point, you got to get a tow. At that point, you're facing the wrong direction. You have to get a tow. And that's frustrating. But not for this man, who could very much be leading the championship.
Yeah, I mean, like I was just saying, all he really needs to do now is just to bring the car home. He doesn't need to overtake anybody. He doesn't need to push too hard. His championship rival is far down the order. All he needs to do, I mean, it just depends what Luke's dropped round is, but just keeping it on track, just setting some nice times as we see Alex Konrad's now coming through on... oh no, that's Jamie Reed, I should say, coming through on Alex Konrad. But yeah, Yanis Albert, he's in such a good position. The only person who can lose the championship right now is Yanis.
Yes, but mistakes can be made. And of course, traffic is a big problem because there's a crash up the road there. He is starting to approach some lap cars, as you'll see as it goes through the elbow. We're watching, of course, this battle that's been brewing at the back here, and this is a lovely battle, of course. We're talking about 24, 25 places and stuff like that, but it's also a great experience for these drivers to get something done in the next season if they're going to join up. Another great battle that's here at the moment. That's Gary, and I think that's Alex up on the inside, getting the job done. The number 9 machine will gain 7 positions. Nathan Crook, once again, doing a fantastic job. 12 positions gained, but I think he realizes at this point he's got no hope in winning the championship. But remember, he's probably targeting that P2 position in the Evo class. And Jean is up in the back there of Paul Collishaw, and we know he's been fighting it out all season long as well too. Joe Glass just a little bit down the back there, but Joe Glass, of course, is leading in his class, so he doesn't have to fight this battle too much.
Yeah, can just try and witness this in front of him. John, though, is going to make the move, or he's going to at least attempt it to the inside now on Paul Collishaw as they run into Griffin's Bend. And Paul Collishaw goes very, very wide, and that's the move done for John. And Joe Glass, I think, will try and follow him through, and in fact, I think he will here. And, it's going to be side by side as they run in towards the cutting, but I think Joe Glass is going to have it. Well, Paul's going to have it. Back on the outside.
Joe's fighting. Joe's fighting big time here. Now, I mean, Joe's going to realise that he's got the championship wrapped up for the drivers, but I mean, surely he's going to be going through his head here. They need maximum points for the team to take the constructors as well. Now, if you get a big tangle and you wreck your car out at the moment, will that still be enough? You don't have to crunch that math, of course. Because, well, it may be, because considering there's Tristan, all right, and we all know that Luke has had a really bad day here. So perhaps it is enough. But anyway, if you ain't seen Barney and you still have 26 minutes or so to go, or give or take 20. Yeah, and it ain't finished yet. Oh! That's Dan. Is it?
I think that's Joe Sparrow.
No,
it's Stephen Donnelly.
Both cars are facing the wrong direction too. There's going to be a horrible coming around the corner for these drivers.
In the Straub's car.
Yeah,
but he's not feeling very...
almost impossible
very
to turn
sweet
here.
At the moment.
Hopefully nobody's coming around, look.
Yeah, thankfully they can.
This is when you need a good spotter. This is when you need your spotter to give you a caution immediately. If these drivers are going to be obviously participating in the 12-hour event for Bathurst this weekend, which probably a lot of them will be, then that's when you got to get yourself a good team. All your teams have to be spotting you, because, yeah, one thing you don't want to be doing is taking other people's races out and also don't lose yours. But here he is, Nathan Crook here at the moment there, and well, it ain't over yet, my friends. We've still got plenty of motor racing to go.
Yeah, let's see then. James Rankin, I think he's going to be fighting away with Nathan Crook here as they run their way down in towards Griffin's Bend. Let's see. I think Nathan Crook's got this. Indeed he does. Very much controlling it. Of course, Nathan Crook started this race P20, don't forget. And he's only 1.4 seconds off his class leader, Joe Glass. So he's really put in a good performance in this second race so far. And we're not even halfway through yet. Just over a third of the way through, in fact. And we'll have to see how he can progress. Meanwhile, Tristan Denno-Brager and Ewan Stitchbury, you would say, are two of the leaders in this race. Ryan Ottens as well. I think Ryan Ottens may actually be the lead driver who has pitted, so they may be on for some good points here, but realistically, we're looking at Yanis Aubert, we're looking at Luke Lucchese, but Luke Lucchese, after that mistake, so far down the field, and Yanis Aubert, he can just try and strut to it now.
Yeah, you just got to drive it home. You just got to drive it home the best you can and just hope that something happens up the road there, because Yanis has got this one in the bag. We think there's your pit stops, as you said, but it's all about your delta times and everything like that, and traffic is the key, because you don't want to get held up too much here in the mountain, especially if you get held up through the mountain section, because there's not many places that you get to overtake. I did see during the practice sessions, as we're going to have a run here at the moment, Thomas is going to set up the inside here in the hot zone. If you want to get your fold out chair and watch this motor race where there's been incidents right there, but Thomas got the job done on Paul and slices his way up into P2. So Paul's going to fight this one back.
I don't think he's going to be able to make it, though, because Thomas Pugh is now through up into P2, but big gap back to Yanis Aubert. James Rankin into the pit lane. Joe Glass and Nathan Crook. Nathan Crook through on Joe Glass. Up into the lead of that Evo category, of course, big on the team's championship. We're keeping an eye on Joe Glass and Matthew Jones in their battle in the team championship with the Luke Lucchese and Tristan, but with Luke a long way down. It's falling straight into GlassTech Racing's hands. So they're going to go along well here. I think we're going to see pit stops maybe this lap now for a lot of these guys. It'd be about the halfway point, because otherwise you'd be going 17 laps in the first stint, which, you know, you might as well pit around halfway.
I was going to say, Yanis, if you look at the the car in the 30th place, which I think is Kevin, he got past him pretty clearly. I don't know if Kevin just yielded off there, but that's to me, I was like, Yanis would have been the one that probably might have boxed to avoid that traffic up the road. But you look at it, it's got clear. Look at the track map. I mean, the car in the 29th place at the moment, so far up the road. Yanis doesn't have to worry about traffic. That's the time that I would maybe be calling your driver in. Because you don't want to risk a potential championship win here by getting stuck in traffic, because we've seen it before, isn't it? Traffic can be your absolute worst. Just traffic in general on the motorway going to work is a pain. Darragh, Aussie accent.
Yeah.
You got an Aussie accent there. Dazza, come here to Bathurst, my friend. Throw some snags on the Barbie and let's go motor racing. There's Zach out there that's teasing you, my friend.
My Australian accent is I'm not in the business of offending people this evening. I really don't want to make anybody upset.
We're laughing about Australian accent.
He might be trying to offend Paul Robson here, because he's trying to make his way through up into P3, but he can't quite do it. In towards the chase, of course, we've seen a couple of moves with John in the chase over race 1. Is he going to try and make it to the final corner?
Pit stops.
Doesn't need to. Yeah, Paul Robson coming into the pit lane. Makes the South African's life a little bit easier here, because Paul Robson diving in that green and yellow checkered Porsche.
Oh no, our race leader's had a moment again. Our possible championship leader it's all falling. He's gone backwards down the mountain, and he's also had a contact with Nathan. Oh, this is all going to absolutely pole-shape right now. At least he's pointing in the direction. He's off the racing line, and there it is. So the man that had one hand on the trophy now is going to be crabbing too big time, my friend. I'm surprised he's even going to bring that one back home. I suppose he's even going to turn left here. Oh, look at it. His dashes in the championship hopes are done and dusted at this point. Now, if Yanis, of course, can bring it home. And don't say nothing. The rest of some of the drivers are going to pit road, so there's Nathan going to pit road. I think because he got contact as well too, and so did Joe Glass. The rest of the pit stops. Look at that at the moment too, gentlemen. I don't have to go back live for pictures, but top 6 yet to make pit stops.
Yeah, they are yet to make pit stops, but of course when they do make their pit stop, surely got to be soon. I mean, that we're over halfway through this race, and once they do, we'll really have a good picture of where everybody is in this race. Ryan Otton will be hoping that he emerges in P2 at least. I don't think he'll be able to take P1, but look at this gaggle of cars running up towards the start of the mountain section, and it's going to be an inside line here for Matt Barnett on Joe Glass. Joe Glass slipping back at the moment. This isn't what he needs, but he is going to lose the position to Matt Barnett as they rise their way up towards the likes of Skyline, but through Reed Park and Frog Hollow. But this is important for Joe Glass. It's important for the team's championship. He can't afford to lose too many positions here. Otherwise, we could see a very, very late charge from RDSA to somehow take the title there.
Yeah, race leader's in as well too. Here's Yanis, so he has to spot this one absolutely perfect, although he's got quite a comfortable lead, but you mentioned that too. Joe Glass is fighting he's fighting for every single possible point in the championship here. Thomas has gone there. This is the rest of the field that you mentioned all coming in. Hopefully pointing in the right direction. Hopefully not slapping the fence. Let's see if Alex goes in as well. Yes, he will. Gary, I'd imagine, will go in. And then Matthew Jones will be the last of those to pit stop. Yes, so there it is. That's the pit stops done and dusted for everybody for the final time this season. Unless, of course, you want to go back in again if you've got damage, but I do suggest not to. We have cleared the track of kangaroos, so there should not be a roo coming out there and bouncing in the front of your car. Hopefully. But we'll see. Yanis comes back out. Clear in the P1 position. A little bit of traffic up the road, but championship smile perhaps creeping in on his face.
Yeah, it's going very well for him. As you can see in the background, look at that. Ryan Ottens and Thomas P were coming out of turn 1 pretty much at the same time. Of course, still with an advantage for the driver coming out of the pit lane slightly further forward, but Ryan Ottens is right on the back of Thomas Pugh. Pitted at the end of lap 1. This undercut has really, really paid dividends for him, but can he pick up P2 around the outside? He's going to have to go here. He's going to have to dance all the way around the outside, but look at the grip, look at the confidence. He's made that move stick. It's going to be difficult now to come around the outside of the cutting for Thomas Pugh, and what a move for Ryan Ottens, up into P2, 12 minutes to go. You can try and chase after Yanis, gonna be tough.
Yeah, it will definitely be tough with that huge gap because he's got more about Thomas behind him. But you know what? Yeah, so be it. You never know. Yeah, I saw drivers actually make a lot of mistakes, and we're talking about, you know, some of the best drivers we've had all season in the practice sessions, and they look quick and they're doing a good job. But all of a sudden, that wall comes out and bites you, and it's all over. So I think at the moment, Yanis needs to be. We're keeping on his lap times, but he's pushing 202s. These drivers are pushing 203s behind him. If I was Yanis, with, I don't know, still got a handful of time left, I'd probably drop about 2/10 per lap, just to play it safe.
I mean, you say you could drop 2 tenths. He could drop 2 seconds a lap and he could still win this race.
Yeah, but then you're never going to get a driver drop 2
position.
seconds. I've tried it before a million times. Engineering a driver, it ain't gonna happen. They won't listen to you.
But yeah, but he's in such a comfortable position here that surely, the only person that can stop him winning this title is himself making a mistake here. Nothing else will be able to deny him the title. Maybe a disconnect or something. But
don't you
a
jinx
lot
it
will
right
have to
now.
go wrong. Yeah, I'm not trying to think. I'm trying to think of all the possible things that could happen so that I can say it, so then it won't happen. Ryan Ottens, though, leaves this little gaggle of cars. Thomas Pugh and John Brighton back in behind. The likes of Stitchbury and Tristan Darragh, they've had very good pace in race 1. You know, we could see them try to gain to the back of this gaggle for P2, do you think?
Why not? Absolutely, why not? Give it a shot there. As you see the Australians getting a little crazy in the background there. Zach, real quick, I don't know if you just tuned in, we're going to also be broadcasting the Bathurst 12 hours here on the JP Broadcasting Network, as well as simultaneously for the OCE racing team, like we did last year. So, I don't know, Zach, are you going to be also get the thunder from down under doing any of the Bathurst broadcasting that's coming up, of course, in this weekend? And this is just a teaser of what's going to happen. This is only 30-minute races in Bathurst, huh? 12 hours of this grueling track. It's quite difficult. And plus, of course, nighttime conditions, my friend. It's a lot more difficult, isn't it? And you got to just see just what your headlights are putting out as you go up and down. No. I think they're
Different challenge in 12 hours. But for these guys, they are still focused on the last 10 minutes of this race, about 5 laps or so. When Yanis Albert crosses the line, we'll be able to have a good judge of how many laps we have to go. In fact, I think almost certainly we're going to have 4 more after. No, 5 more. It's going to be tight. It's going to be very tight because Yanis is right on that bubble, I think. But I do believe we're going to have 5 more after this. We'll have enough time to get in 4 more laps before 30 minutes is up, to give us that 5 laps of racing to go. Matt Hoyland, Alex Farrell, we can see these guys so close together, diving down the mountain. Joe Glass, though, of course, he's up in front as Alex Farrell got pretty defensive there, in towards the Forest's elbow. You've got to get a good exit out of there, but
yeah,
compromise it.
Oh, he's even got him before the exit. Now it'd be a straight line drag. Now, the Nissan Skylines that I owned at R32 in Australia, they used to hold the record of Bathurst for a long time during the 90s, actually. Because they added chase in it, used to go all the way down to turn 1. Sorry, here we go. So Matty's going to put the 1, 2, 3 up the inside. This is the problem when they come into the second part of the elbow. And Matty this time around was very, sorry, not the elbow, of course, the chase. Matty this time around, maybe he studied the tape, didn't he, of... who was it earlier? Was it, of Yanis. Remember that tried to take that opportunity into the second part of the chase and failed. Now let's see if Matt can capitalize out of Hell's Corner and make a chase. Too far back, I'd say at this point. You've got to get a better exit out of Hell's Corner if you want to chase down Alex for this position.
Yeah, you're going to really have to get a really good run at some point on the track. I mean, losing time to Joe Glass is going to help him in regards of getting a little bit of slipstream, but it's just dragging to Gary Mitchell in. He would love to take a bite out of this battle. I'm sorry, I need to stop with the caramel bar puns, I really do. But here we go. A battle between Thomas Pugh and John Brighton back. John Brighton back trying for the move, but going a little bit defensive as well. Thomas Pugh, maybe there was a little bit of side-by-side action that we just caught, or we just didn't see. Ewan Stitchbury, though, he is gaining with Tristan Darragh to the back of these two, and we really could have a battle for P3 on our hands in the closing stages of this race if these two start fighting side-by-side.
And even if they do, Tristan's not going to have enough, is he? He's not going to have enough, especially with the likes of Luke. He's still in it down here in P22. A little bit alone, he can get on with it. But Matt Hoyland, of course, putting that pressure currently still on the back there of Alex. This is very, very interesting. We get the group towers just to get everybody to look at how they're all panning out. Nathan, once again, looking for another race victory, but we know with Joe Glass in P2, Joe's already wrapped it up. Joe's thinking about, once again, the constructors. And then here we go. Back here at the top of the timesheet between these two Premier Class drivers for the last time this season. Who wants it?
Yeah, I mean, we've had 8 racetracks before this one at Bathurst. This is, of course, the night. So many have been very, very different in their nature. Here we go, though. Jamie Rees cutting in on me, trying to make a move on Gary Mitchell. Inside line at the chase. That's a done deal. Thank you very much. And, well, I'll see you next season, frankly, is what Jamie Rees is telling Gary Mitchell. But we've been to many different tracks, and Bathurst is no different. But I think Bathurst, it's cost Luke Lucchese a chance with the mistakes he's made. Matt Hoyland trying to make a move on Alex Fretwell, but I think Luke Lucchese is going to really rue his mistakes today.
Yeah, but we had to look back at all that one, like, what were the mistakes? I mean, did everything right in race 1, but it's the positioning, isn't it? It's the reverse grid. I knew the reverse grid's always going to be, it's a gamble. It's always a gamble, like, you don't know what's going to happen up the road. There's a spin, and that's from...
Thomas Pugh,
that's Thomas,
is it?
that's Tommy.
Ooh.
Yeah. He's lucky he's
too
pointing
nice
in the right
as well.
direction.
Yeah, but he's only got to be 6 at the moment. Of course, damage might cost him some more positions, but you know it's not awful. It's somewhat salvageable, but that is not so salvageable. That's Alex Fretwell. It's the same liveried car as well.
Yes, it is. Yes. And then so
both
Matt
of
got
them.
past him, Jamie got past him, but he's had tanks like I believe, and that's why he's dropped.
So both teammates at the same corner on the same lap have made pretty much the same mistake, which is gutting for them. It's a good job they're not in fighting for the championship for the team. But here's the Alex Fretwell incident. Let's see, is there a little bit of contact on the run here? Let's see.
No, he's lost the marbles.
No, yeah.
Get some tyre power into that car at the moment. He's not the only one that's done that. Here we go.
Ooh, look at this battle though.
Yeah.
Paul Collishaw, there's a lap car there actually. It looked like there were more cars involved than there were, but Paul Collishaw looking on the back of Paul Robson, the two Pauls going at it in towards the chase. Can Collishaw get the run he so desires in that Audi? Let's see, inside line maybe? No, not going to go for it, waiting in behind, biding his time. But with the Alex Albert going now towards the elbow, or Griffin's Bend I should say, we're going to have 3 more laps of this race and 3 more laps of the season to decide all the championships.
3 more laps for you to start crunching those numbers to decide how it's all going to pan out, as both these drivers are going to make their way into Highway to Hell from AC/DC Hell's Corner. It's not associated with the AC/DC song, of course. That used to be in Western Australia where they used to drive all the way across the outback to go to a bar to perform. Actually, you get that Highway to Hell song from AC/DC. Got a bit of Australian history for you.
Thank you for that. Meanwhile, Paul Collishaw going. Oh,
that's not a way to enter the corner, my friend. Paul.
Yeah. I think Collishaw really thought that he had the move done on Robson here, but Robson hadn't fully gone from being side by side, so a little bit of contact there, and I'm not too sure what Stuart to say about that one. But Collishaw really maybe making a little bit of a mistake, maybe just a bit of a misjudgment on who was where. But either way, it's cost Paul Robson a few positions down to P11 now, but it's helping the likes of Nathan Crook and Joe Glass here, because Joe Glass still P2 in class, and that's really going to help him in the team championship. And I think if it stays as it is, Glass Racing have this one wrapped up with a bow on top.
Yeah, Matthew Jones at the moment is part of that Glass Racing team under a little bit of pressure to go up. What is on the back of there that I was seeing? Just as you get close to the rear end there of Matthew's car, it says, "Please do not front or end me," or something like that, as we're seeing that completely damaged car at the moment that we saw before. They're allowing the drivers through off the racing line. That's very kind and gentle for you to do, my friend. All that, I love it. The cars lift off there. They do literally just a little bit of a skip. It's almost like in a roller coaster. You know when you get that little moment when you're in a roller coaster and you feel like you've got a little air time? It's kind of like that. Here we go. Good exit out of the corner. The car's going too far back, I think. Chase down Matthew Jones before the first turn of the chase. It's going to break the slipstream as well, too, Matthew is. See if you can read the back bumper there. I'm just curious if we get close enough.
But Gareth Nick will hope to get close enough, that's for sure, because he wants to make the move, as you can nearly see it.
Please do not Pontaroo, I think it is. No. Pontaroo.
My eyes aren't good enough for that. I need new prescription glasses, frankly. But yeah, Gareth Newton trying to find his way past Matthew Jones. We've got some battles on track, but into the penultimate lap of the season, and I think we really know where the titles are going to start going to without big incidents. Looks like we have all 3 championships pretty much done. It would take quite a lot to change things.
Here's another
Matt
one.
Hoyland.
So we got another punter who are exactly the same livery, but different classes a little bit up the road there. Joe Glass, of course, and Matt. Now, Joe Glass, I think at this point is just going to fight it anyway, even though they're not in the same class. But there it is. Matty's going to want to try to get past. Joe's going to be saying, no. I've got the Drivers' Championship wrapped up. We pretty much have the Constructors' Championship wrapped up. So it's game on, race on.
Yeah, it is game on, race on, but the race is not on for long, so they've got to make sure that they get all of this out very quickly. Matt Hoyland, though, he is tracking Joe Glass. Joe Glass could rescind this position for now. Of course, it won't really cost him in either the teams or the drivers, but you know, you want it for. No, you're not going to want to give it up at all, are you? But if necessary, if it looks like Matt Hoyland's going to try and force the move, he doesn't need to ride it too
He's
hard.
not. I honestly don't think he will. Because I think Joe can afford to lose a little bit of time here right now. And he's going to have fun big time with Matty. For sure. And why not?
But let's see Matt Hoyland, though, get the slipstream down towards the chase. He's going to gain. It's just a very, very slow, but very, very short incremental gain to the back of the car in front, and Joe Glass is coming more and more into view. I can nearly read that now, and I can read it now. He doesn't want to be bunted. Will he be bunted down into the chase? Oh, he nearly does, but Matt Hoyland's down the inside. Great move there from Matt Hoyland in the DXT Motorsports car, and he is up in towards into P9, I should say, with 1 lap to go, and a very, very good effective move at the end of this race.
And Nathan, of course, has done a fantastic job as he got the right camera angles there. For just not enough points consecutively all season as he needed. He could have got the championship. I'll tell you what, keep an eye out for Nathan. 12 positions gained in this race. Keep an eye out for him. Oh, and there's a switcheroo again. So Joe Glass and Matt battle is not over yet. I said Joe was not going to yield this one, my friend. He is fighting this tooth and nail. He knows he's got the Constructors' Champion, the Drivers' Championship for the Evo class. Look in the background as well, too. Nothing's given up there. That's Jamie and Paul. Dying stages of this race. Where's our race leader? Going to be coming around to the elbow soon, but I don't know. This could almost be like a NASCAR crash across the line kind of scenario, couldn't it, between these drivers? Because this is the last race of the last lap. So here it is.
Yeah, we are on the last lap. We're pretty much into the last sector now of this race. They're still battling up and down the field, but I mean, overall, I think we can pretty safely say that with only a couple of corners to go, Yannis Albert is going to start to strut his way across the line. Here he is, coming through the chase now. He led the championship after round 2 at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. He didn't win the first race, he came second. He came second in the second race, and ever since he has led the championship. Bit of a moment today. He was 1 point behind going into this race, but he had such a good starting position to take home what will be his 5th win in a title-winning season. It's Yannis Albert who wins at Bathurst. He wins the championship, and what a result for him. It was nervy over about half an hour ago, but in the end, Yannis Albert does what he wanted to do since the end of December and follows through to win the Evolution Sim Racing GT3 Championship. Ryan Ottens will come home 17 seconds behind Yannis, with John Breitenbach picking home a last race podium. Ewan Stitchbury and Tristan Abrega in 4th and 5th. And as we see the rest of the drivers come across the line, we might have a look at Joe Glass, because Joe Glass and his team of Glass Tech Racing, along with Matthew Jones, are going to win the Teams Championship in ESR GT3 Season 3. They just about beat out the RDSA Motorsport team of Luke Lucchese and Tristan Dino-Brega, and full congratulations to them. But what a season we've had, Dean, and what a round we had to finish it off.
Oh, the best track to end it all, and not the best result, of course, for some of those drivers that wanted to get those championship hopes. Yannis is already in the pit road. He's not even going to give us burnouts. Nothing. Either that or he's completely run out of gas or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but look at that. Everybody's celebrating. What a season it's been. It's been an absolute cracker of a season. And, you know, there's hopes and dreams, tears, sweat, but there's also champagne and smiles from every one of these drivers this evening. And why not? We're going to get, obviously, a great chance to chat to them with his teammates as well, too. Having a little wave to everybody for the Beamers. Jamie, as well with his teammate. Look at that. Yeah, you're allowed to do a little bit of door banging there. Look at that. That's perfect for the cameras, gentlemen. Good job. Kangaroo on the barbecue coming up soon for sure. And we'll get those results coming up soon. So, wow. Had a spin in the books there in that champ. Well, 1 point you said decided it going into the last round. Last race, I mean.
Yeah. And what a round it was. I mean, we had some great racing all the way through the event, through the season, really, all the way from Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. We started with about 50 cars, and we've had more than 35 every race, 40 tonight. But these are your final results of this, or race results of the season. Yannis Albert wins the final race and wins the championship in some style. 17 seconds in 30 minutes is no mean feat. John Brighton back in third, with Ewan Stitchbury and Tristan Dinobrega in fourth and fifth. Thomas Pugh and Paul Coldershaw round out sixth and seventh, with Nathan Crook winning in Evo, Matt Hoyland in ninth, and Joe Glass second in Evo, but winning that team's championship. JD Rees and James Rankin in 11th and 12th, with Matthew Jones, Gareth Newton, Paul Robson, and Javier Talavera in the top 16. Alex Fretwell finished in 17th in his Ferrari, with Luke Lucchese, the man who's going to end up finishing second in the championship, down in 18th after those two big mistakes that in the end cost him 1 minute and 25 on Yannis Albert, but I'm sure he will be back for season 4. James Bostock and Daniel Nans 19th and 20th, John Ludbrook and Rob McKee, Marcel Breitenbach, Gary Mitchell, Danny Weir, Graham Matthew, and Alex Konrads finishes the season in 27th. With Ronnie Stangle, Stephen Donnelly, Russell Jakes, Chris Keenan, and Matt Barnett in the top 32. We've had some more crashes in this one with Ashley Brooks 3 laps off the front, with Kevin Simon 4, and then Joe Sparrow, Hussein Sarakadesla, and James Pallow all 6 laps off. Only a few more to go. It's Jamal Gandor, Robin Aston, and I think maybe Scott Kostrick maybe wasn't in this race. But either way, a great race, a great season, Dean. And yeah, I mean, where to start? We've had so many great races, we've had so many great battles, we've never known where to look. But in the end, Yannis Albert just about make sure he can take home the title.
He got to be in it to win it, and I think it was all about that race one. I mean, his luck wasn't there, isn't it? His fortunes was like, oh dear. It kind of, after that Heat 1 race, you're like, oh, he might have lost his championship. But he battled his way back, got some fantastic overtakes, got himself in that crucial reverse grid placing so that he had a fighting chance. And of course, at that point, he's just praying that what happens behind him, and did, to the likes of the RDSA esports racing team. And therefore, the tables are turned, and therefore he gets the championship. I'll get those drivers in a second. And once again, we'll go over those driver awards while we jump over there, actually, so we can have a chin wagon with them.
We will move over.
1 second, 1 second. Got a lot of buttons to push here, my friend. All right. Go ahead there, Darragh. You got a copy.
Oh, lovely. Right then, we are here. We're gonna have some interviews from some of the drivers in the season. We've currently got 5 of them in the interview area, and I might just get. I'm going to get Joe Glass and Matthew Jones in first, of course. Jones were the two sorry for cutting you off there, Joe. Sorry. Were the 2 title winners in the team's championship. And Joe Glass, you are, of course, the Evo champion in the drivers category. So for the team, fantastic season, drivers and constructors championship. But for you, Joe, must be a very satisfying feeling to finish off that championship this evening.
Yeah, it was. I mean, Nathan had me level on that 115 margin, so I knew I just needed to convert a singular point, and it would have been said and done. But after that point, you're right. It was all about the teams. We did our maths at half time to try and figure out what we needed, but it was quick to realise that Tristan wasn't in the position that he needed to be, and Luke had some incident as well. So me and Matt knew that we just needed to bring it home.
Yeah, my maths had 37 points you led by. If you've got the same, I'm going to feel very much pleased about my maths. But either way, yeah, with the instance... Oh, good, yeah, that makes me feel better. With the instance that the others had, yeah, it kind of was a little bit safer, but you had some great battling towards the end of that race, didn't you? I mean, the last couple of laps, you were really locked in a battle.
Yeah, we had a great fight. I don't know if you guys caught it coming out the pit lane. There was 4 of us. Nathan, myself, Matt, and James were all over each other, which was a battle for P1 at the time. quickly dispersed, but it was good to come out the pit lane and have that clean. But after that, I knew Nathan was going to get away, and I just let some pros go by and just stayed where I needed to be. And all in all, yeah, great season. I think Nathan's pipped me to number of wins, but as we said last week, the consistency has saw me through.
And that's what counts. I mean, and consistency for you, Matthew, because, even though you weren't necessarily getting the headline results that we saw from Joe, you've still been picking up some really, really consistent points through the season. I think in the end, you've just lost out P2 in the championship, but still P3. I think you've had 4 podiums, if not a couple more this evening. So, for yourself, you've also had a great season. And is it something you can build on for season 4?
Yeah, I think I went backwards a little bit. I was in a position to win at Le Mans and spun all of my own accord. So I lost a bit of confidence for that. But I think, with Joe's pace, I'm happy to be like the Mark Webber, the number 2 driver. And I think we've done it this season.
What are you saying? Sorry, go ahead.
It's not because he's Australian. But yeah, I think we said at the start of the season, didn't we, Joe, that we really wanted the team's championship, so to bring that home feels really good. It was pretty stressful around Bathurst because I think there was a stage in the second race where I probably went through 4 laps where I just couldn't stop hitting the walls. So it's getting pretty stressed in there.
But yeah, congratulations on it. Of course, with next season coming in, of course, there are more classes. Are you two going to be able to stay as teammates?
Yeah, yes, we are, and we've got a recruit. We've got a recruit joining us who's just joined ESR. So that we might have a little announcement for that soon. But I'm excited to have all these other guys coming back. A few guys from the Premier the Premier category this season dropping down. So it should be very, very competitive at the start of next season.
I have a final question for the GlassTech Racing Team. Congratulations on your constructors as well as your drivers' championship. Are you all going to be doing any of the Bathurst 12-hour on the weekend?
I won't be, but Matt, that's something of your cup of tea, but maybe not around Bathurst.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, I can't. I'm not here this weekend, so I can't do it. But I'd love to do it. But yeah, maybe we should get GlassTech in the endurance.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, we'll be broadcasting we'll be broadcasting something on the JP Broadcasting Network as well too for another couple of teams. But anyway, that's something else to keep an eye on. The GlassTech Racing Team. Well, over to you as well too, Joe, to call out. You're the team boss, obviously. It's your team. Has your name written all over the car? How's the season been overall for you?
Yeah, like I say, I think it's just been a consistency battle, really. And the lead's been there for most of the season. Nathan was obviously creeping up and knowing that he was picking up wins and obviously battling me right the way to the end. But as we said last week, those results at the start and a couple of those missed rounds obviously held him off. But it's been just me and Matt every week of just aiming for the top 5. More often than not, we've been where we needed to be. And yeah, we've pulled it home. And the relief when we saw, not to go against them, but the relief of seeing that Luke had a mistake and that Tristan wasn't where we thought he would be, just meant that, we didn't have to push too much. We could just hold places for the final few laps and bring it home. So it's good. It's 10 weeks worth of racing or more, so it's a nice round off, and then we see where we are next season with a bit more competition.
You've only got 2 weeks to wait, don't you? I think the season starts back up again. The pre-season race is next week, so you've not got long to wait. Yeah. But yeah, congratulations to the both of you on winning the championship. Drivers for you and teams for the both of you. So yeah, congratulations. All the best for next season. And good luck.
Likewise, and thank you to both for your efforts with us this season. It's been very entertaining to watch back as well.
You're welcome, my friend. We've got Kangaroo on the barbecue waiting out and the paddock, of course, later on for you, gentlemen. So you haven't tried that one before. Give it a shot.
I'll fly out now.
Hey, you're already in Bathurst.
I'll say exactly where I am.
That was Joe Glass and Matthew Jones that have... I'm going to show the standings for the Evo. Well, the standings for the teams, of course, and that's not updated with the final results that we have from that one, but we do know that the RDSA Esports had not the best of Bathurst in round 2, Heat 2. So the Glass Tech Racing team of Joe Glass, of course, and Matthew Jones got the job done. They got the team championship, and of course, the man himself, Joe Glass, who had a pretty commanding lead going into this one, held off his teammate to get the job done, and that's exactly what they say, isn't it? Licked a stamp and sent it, and they did send it all the way into the Evo standings and the team standings. So thank you, gentlemen. Who do we have next in the interview room there?
I was going to bring in Matt Hoyland first for a quick interview before we get into our title contenders. So I'm going to drag Matt Hoyland in. Good evening, Matt. Thanks for joining the interview again. You've had I feel like every time we speak to you, you've always had quite an exciting evening. You're always in a fight. You're always in a battle. So did you enjoy your time around Bathurst tonight?
I enjoyed it. The reason I'm always in a battle is because I always bottle qualifying. I always end up so far back, and I've got no choice but to try and battle through. But yeah, I had some good races. I finally caught up with Mr. Glass right at the end and got to battle with him for a couple of laps. So yeah, it was good fun. I enjoyed it. I always do.
And Matty, real quick there, your gains were amazing. On the, as you said, you bottled. You actually told us in the chat there that you bottled your Heat 1. But you gained, I think, the most, didn't you? I can't remember how many you gained there, Darragh. Did he gain like 20-something places? 22 or something, I think you got by the end? In Heat 1?
Do you remember, Matt?
I think, if I remember correctly, I started Heat 1 P38 because I failed to set a lap time. And I think I finished it in 15th, unless I'm mistaken. Race 2 was looking really good because I was like, oh, great, I'm on back of Ewan, Tristan, and Luke. Obviously, 3 quick guys. And then Luke gets into a spin and I have to stop. And that really it put me in a bad position then because obviously the other guys that were then pitting just came out in front of me. But I had fun with it. I can't say I didn't have fun.
Oh, I forgot to real quick there.
Isn't it really?
I was going to ask Joe Glasses, that might still be here if he is I wanted to ask you, Joe, you know you've already had this one in the bag, but when Matty was fighting with you late, and we're seeing these pictures right now, to me, you were like, you're going to go for it, right? You didn't, I mean, you're in different classes, right? You already had wrapped up everything, but at this point, you were definitely racing with Matty, weren't you?
I was, and I mean, I'd like to think that we trust each other, and he left me room, I left him room. I knew that I'd slowed it down. I thought, let's have a bit of fun. I wasn't going to be too aggressive, and we carried it on up the back straight. And as soon as he got past me, though, he was away.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to confirm that one actually at the end of it because I knew that this was probably a few races earlier. You probably wouldn't have battled so much per se, but yeah. But Matty, what a good at the end of the season. You've really come through. Like, I mean, I did speak about this on the air, saying, you know, a couple of really aggressive moves, and you're an aggressive driver, but then again, Max Verstappen is, right? And he wins championships. So, yeah, explain your season, Matty. I think you've really stepped it up a gear, haven't you, so far this season, and bringing it to the top counts.
I think my pace has improved, generally speaking. The consistency is still a huge issue for me. Like, obviously, I was just speaking to Yanis, Luke, and Tristan in the waiting room, and they were saying, obviously, I had a really good start at Montreal getting the feature win, and I was like, oh, okay, I might actually be able to do something here. And then it all fell apart for like 5 rounds, and I had a really bad time. But yeah, the last few, I still need to get qualifying down, but I feel like my race pace and my battling's definitely improved a lot. It's been good fun.
Well done overall, Matt. Because you've had a great season overall, and we've spoken to you quite a few times after the races, and you've always been involved. You've always had good battles with people, and I think if anything, of the guys nearer the top of the Premier class, you have been involved in some of the most battling. I think that we've seen, really. I mean, quite a few of the other drivers, the likes of Yanis, Luke, Tristan, they often get away at the front and then just have their own race for half an hour. But you were always in a bit of a battle, having a bit of a fight. So. It's been great to watch you all season long, and I mean, looking forward to season 4 in a couple of weeks' time. Are you confident you can try and this is a bit of a momentum boost? Maybe work on those qualifying performances.
Yeah, I mean, we are obviously things are going back to the 3-class system as they were last season, so I won't quite be battling the aliens next season, which will be nice. I will be battling Mr. Glass, I believe. So that's a little bit of a preview for next season. Them last couple of laps. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next season. I think there's going to be a lot of quick guys in our class. And obviously, last season's finish for Pro-Am was like 6 drivers still in it in the last race, I think. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be good fun.
And bring it home as well too, because we always had the DXT live out there in the chat. It's been keeping us quite occupied during the season as well too. So you'd have to say the biggest fan club for the DXT Motorsports has certainly been in the chat, your chatters, because it's, you know, we've had your team out there giving us all the information there, and it's been fantastic. And of course, you've always been a driver that's in the spotlight, my friend, every single time. So yeah, we'll see how it all pans out there. Good on you there, Matty. We'll miss you on the JP Broadcasting Network next season, but certainly I don't think anybody else on the track will be missing. You're racing right. You're like a tiger, aren't you? Like a cougar or whatever you want to say.
You got to keep people on the toes, don't you? You got to keep it interesting.
Any final words,
Massey.
Darragh? Yeah. Go ahead, Darragh.
No, I was just say thank you and good luck for the next season, because of course, you know, it's another long season, 8 rounds. A very nice looking calendar as well. So good luck for that, and yeah, wish you all the best, and best of luck for next season.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys. Obviously, thanks for commentary all season. It's been good talking to you. I'll let you move on to some guys that actually achieved something now this season.
Well,
But I
thank
can't
you. I think
speak
actually,
South African. Can you hear Daz is going to do South African? Go ahead, Daz.
I'm not doing a South African accent, if that's what you're suggesting. I'm going to very quickly drag in John Brighton back, actually, because I've just seen he's joined the interview waiting booth. And John,
oh, hello.
Evening. Well done this evening. Another P3, another podium. You've really good back end of the season.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was a very good race. I think it's one of the tracks I'm more comfortable with. And I had a lot of fun with Ryan there, battling for large parts of the race. So it's a good way to end the season.
Because you had a third a few weeks ago, I think a couple of fourths in the last weeks as well, and another podium just to bring it home. I mean, I think you're going to finish P6 in the end in the championship, so a very respectable return. Does that give you a bit of a confidence boost going into next season? Of course, we're only 2 weeks away.
Yeah, I definitely think so. This is the first time that I've been as close on pace to the leaders, so I'm hoping that kind of form follows into the next season. I do know I'll miss a few races, so I don't think I'll be in the championship, but I'll give it my all on a race-by-race basis.
Yeah, and it's always like, even if you're not in the championship, you can always fight for something. If anything, you've got less to lose. It's a bit more fun to go wheel to wheel because you're not really worrying about losing points in the championship. But yeah, fantastic work. Anybody that you'd like to mention quickly on the stream?
Yeah, just again, big shout out to my dad as always. Like, racing with him is a lot of fun. Like, we had a good chat while doing this race together. He had some good pace, but couldn't. Unfortunately, had a bit of an incident in race 2, but otherwise, that was a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to the 12 hours on Saturday together.
Oh, you are doing it. Lovely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do you have
We actually last year.
Yes, go ahead.
Last year the 2 of us won our split, so we feel pretty good about it. We've got some extra mates this time around, so we're not sure if it's going to go quite as well.
I hope you're in the same split that would be broadcast on the JP network, but because we don't know what splits, you're going to be all in right when it gets done and dusted. But what is it? The same racing team you're going to be in right now? The same similar logo or something like that? So if I do see you, we can call you out.
Yeah, it should be the same team. It'll be in a Ferrari. I don't know if we have a paint yet, so we'll probably try and throw something together tomorrow. Right. But yeah, so same team as normal. Again, a bunch of South Africans, so we hope it goes as well as last time.
I can't wait. And if I do happen to see you out there, I might reach out to you, gentlemen, and see if we can come in for a bit of a chin wagon. So during
yeah, definitely. Just pop us a message in Discord. I'll definitely have a look.
Yeah, excellent. All right.
All right, thanks a lot. Guys, thanks a lot for broadcasting this season as well. It's been awesome to watch it back afterwards. You guys do an amazing job.
Thanks, Sean. And yeah, and good luck for the 12 hour this weekend and season 4 upcoming. So well done, and yeah, send your wishes as well.
Will do. Thank you. Thanks so much, guys.
But I'm going to drag in now. I'm going to drag in all 3.
Just drag them all in, yeah, exactly, because these are the 3
drag them all in.
championship contenders that you're going to be dragging in right now for, of course, the battle for the pro, and we all know how that's going to pan out in this one. But anyway, gentlemen, one at a time, and let Dazza, well, let's see, Dazza, take it easy on him, Daz.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna. We've got all 3 of you, Luke, Tristan, Yanis, all of you in here. I mean, the last few weeks it's been 3 at the top, but I want to come to Tristan first, because in the end, the team RDSA coming second in the teams championship. I mean, you were close towards the end of the season, but you just didn't get quite close enough. Even though you came second, is it a confidence thing that you can build on? Of course, in terms of the Premier class, you won the team's Premier title, even though that's not really a thing. Are you pleased with how this season's gone? Are you pleased with your performance tonight? I mean, you had good pace again this evening.
So we finished second in the team championship last season rather. So we obviously finished second again. We were obviously trying to get to the top step, but just a few things this season didn't go our way. So overall, from my side, obviously having the highlight of last season where I won the championship, for me this season hasn't been the best. I've had a couple of DNFs and just incidences and stuff, so it hasn't gone my way. But again, as a team overall, to finish second again and to finish strongly in the season, and we were racking up good podiums, I can't complain. So I think I've secured third. I'm not sure, because with Ewan there in this last round now, it was great racing. He beat me in both races, and I think going into race 1, he was only 15 points behind. So I'm not sure on exactly how the points, so it might be very close. But yeah, I mean, overall, can't complain. Luke was in the fight all the way to the end, which was great. Unlucky in race 2, but yeah, congrats to Giannis, and yeah, overall great season for us, and we're looking for some more in season 4.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, overall, I'm actually just trying to do the maths now, because I think you only finished one place behind him, didn't you, in race 1? And you only finished one place behind him in race 2. So in the end, yeah, he didn't gain enough points on you, I don't believe. Only 9. You're right, there were only 15, but I think you've just held him off by 6 points or so. So yeah, P3 in the championship. So even if it is not a great season by your own metric, it's still P3. I mean, you still had a good season. You've had 1 win, 2 seconds, 3 thirds. That's a nice little pattern there. But, you know, something to build on for season 4.
Yeah, definitely. I think if we can get closer to Giannis and to Luke, and be in that fight and make it a 3-way battle, that's what we're aiming for. So, well, personally for myself, that's what I'm aiming for. I don't like being 100 points off the lead or wherever I am. So that's definitely something I'll need to build on for next season and try and eliminate those DNFs. And yeah, consistency wins you championships. So yeah, we'll aim for that.
Yeah, absolutely. But well done over the course of the season. I'm going to quickly come to your teammate, Luke. Of course, Luke, you've come so close in both championships, second in drivers, second in teams, but overall another great season. I think a few weeks ago when Tristan was over 100 points in the championship lead, it wasn't really looking likely that anyone would touch him, but you gave it a really good go. I mean, you led the championship going into the last race by a single point, but of course, I think Giannis's condition meant that whatever you did, it was going to be nearly impossible to win the championship. But can you surely? I'm sure you can see the positives in the season overall.
Yeah, look, I mean, I really, I think, upped my game in the second half of the season, you know, to just increase the pace. I mean, look, it was a big ask to try and take the championship lead from him. You know, unfortunately, he had a bad first race, which obviously gave me the 1 point lead in the second race, but then he obviously started much further forward in the second race, which then gives you the advantage again. So he would have needed to make a big mistake somewhere for me to actually take the championship. And yeah, at the end of the day, I had a much worse second race, but yeah, it's the way it is. You know, at the end of the day, even if I'd finished P2 behind him, it wouldn't have been enough to take the championship. So it doesn't change the result. So, but I'm very happy with the performance. You know, to be able to race against somebody like Giannis, you know, who's extremely good, you know, just to bring the fight to him is sort of a feather in our cap to say that we are able to compete. I mean, that's at the end of the day what we, you know, most excited about.
Was there, real quick there, sorry, I'm just looking at the replay of that turn. Was there contact? It's very hard because it's all done in there in a second.
Yeah, with Ewan.
Yeah, because it was actually the 19 car that slowed down a little bit. I think it caught Ewan off, and then it caught you off, like a bumper car effect, didn't it? Very lucky your teammate didn't get taken out at the same time as well. Yeah,
I know, that would have been a disaster.
I probably lost about 5 kgs just going through that corner. I'm sweat.
And then at this point, Luke, it's like it's so hard to turn around here. It's turning second. You got a million cars coming through there, and you did manage to get it done. Luckily, but it's so unfortunate. It is unfortunate, but you gentlemen have been fantastic sports all season, isn't it? And once again. I did read like later on, of course, a switcheroo between the teammates, of course, at the end there to see if you can get yourself a drivers' championship. It's a clever thing to do. At the start.
Yeah, look, it was the logical thing to do.
Yeah.
Giannis won't agree with us though.
No.
But, will you gentlemen also be participating in the 12-hour Bathurst event this weekend?
No.
You
no, we
should.
didn't.
No, I don't think so.
Why don't you get
Can I
yourself,
enjoy the break?
Get Giannis in there as well too. You three in a team. Wow, that'd be a powerhouse.
That's
We'll see.
spontaneous, no?
The door's always open, Giannis. The door's always open.
Thank you.
I'm just going to ask very quickly. I mean, because Luke, you mentioned your second half of the season. I've just checked. As we went into February, you were 120 points back on Giannis, which is more than a full evening's worth. We've got 2 races because you only get 115 for winning both races, and you led after race 1 tonight by just a single point. But your recovery the second half of the season has been incredible. I mean, if you can carry that through into season 4, there's no reason that I don't think you can really challenge for the title.
Yeah, look, that's the plan. You know, I don't think I put enough time in the beginning of the season because this was my first time driving the Audi. So you know, it took a lot of time to sort of get the hang of the car. You know, how the car wanted to be driven, get the equipment set up to how the car wanted to be driven, brakes and so forth. To really try and extract the pace that I needed to out the car. And then, you know, the beginning of the year is a very crazy time. For me, work-wise, so it's difficult to put some actual time into the sim. But yeah, I put time in where I could, some late nights to figure it out, and yeah, I think it's paid off. So yeah, we'll carry that through into season 4, and then see if we can take the fight to him.
Well done. I mean, overall, a fantastic season, a fantastic title challenge, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to just to see what you guys can do in season 4. But well done. I'm now going to move to our champion, Yanis Albert. I mean, Yanis, first round of the season at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, you came second in both races and you led leaving that championship. And ever since, you've led all the way. I mean, there was that moment during race 1 where you lost the championship lead by a point, but you had such a good starting position that it just meant that you could really just drive into the sunset. At the end of race 1, I really wanted to ask, did you intentionally give up those couple of positions? Because I was talking about it that you could have done it, not lost any points, and still got a better grid position. Did you intentionally give those positions up, or did you have an issue?
I prefer not to speak about that, especially criticizing the team orders on last round. But I think it's quite obvious what I was trying to do. So
No, it's fair game, Jan. It's fair game.
It makes perfect sense, my friend. You're out to win a championship. You do whatever you can to win a championship, right?
Yeah, I think it wasn't even like about starting ahead. It was basically just to not crash, because obviously having 3 people or starting P3 and getting the launch, so I get P2 on lap 1. I think it's much safer than being behind all these Porsches that I would have been behind. So
this was crucial at this heat. This is it. This is where your first 2 laps, you got it all done. Once you're up the road, you're up the road. So you got yourself past Joe Glass, I think, and then you got yourself past. I'm just having a look at this. This is where, yeah. So there's the first overtake. That's right. Yep, James. And then that's in Hell's Corner. And then I believe by the time you got out of the chase, which we don't talk to you much about the chase in race 1, but the second corner of the chase has been your Achilles heel, my friend. I don't know why you were setting it up the inside there. Made you spin twice. But you know what? It all panned out at the end, didn't it? Because you got, I think, the lead of this race by lap 2. So, hey, that's all that mattered. And after that, unstoppable.
Yeah, the thing is, Piston was making a small mistake on lap 1, which led us to not have the slipstream anymore. And I felt like I was a fair bit quicker than him on this track. So I really wanted to get past. That was number 1. There's like nowhere else to overtake really on the track, so I just had to send it there.
Yes, there is.
Where?
You did it later on. You've got to overtake out of Forest, get a good exit out of Forest Elba, and then get him into the first corner of the chase, not the second. And then if you don't get him in the second corner of the chase, come on, I'm Australian, my friend. All right, I know Bathurst. Then if you don't get him out of that, you get a good exit out of Hell's Corner and try to take him up.
All these corner names. I don't
That's
even know
it.
the names.
But that's your really only two overtaken opportunities, unless I make a big mistake.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, you all agree, right?
Really difficult to overtake here, and I just I didn't really do the math. I actually pulled up the points sheet on race 2 after I crashed to make sure if I had to push or if I could kind of chill. Because I wasn't actually sure how much you gain for what position, and I was kind of doing the math on the go. So yeah, I stopped pushing at the end of race 1 for a better position for race 2.
And this is where you get your overtaken opportunity. This is exactly how you textbook it.
Yeah, the thing is, the exit is super crucial from the last corner.
Yeah, Forest Elbow, I think, isn't it? You're talking about this time.
Yeah, I feel like Tristan, for example, he just doesn't do any mistakes. I think the Porsche had a slight mistake, so I got the run, but behind Tristan, I would never get the run there.
And look at that! By the time you're even getting into the final couple of corners, you have a huge gap there. But anyway, that was crucial to you, and that was crucial to your championship to make up after that Heat 1 race to keep your dreams alive. And you got those you got the job done. 2 cars overtake, and then that's it, up the road. And that second hand was on that trophy. Congratulations, my dear friend, you've won the Evolution Sim Racing Pro Championship.
Yes, sir. I honestly, I wouldn't really have liked to see a trophy with second delivered to me. I really wouldn't have liked to see that. It looks so bad. Like P3, okay, you got the podium, nice. P2, I could have had the win. So it's always a bit difficult.
It's like getting 4th at the Olympics. No one likes being 4th at the Olympics. At least if you get 3rd, you got a medal.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. But congratulations, Yanis. I mean, all the way through the season, you've been incredibly fast. You've been, for most of the season, you have been the pace that people have looked for. I saw that you made a few track guides as well for a lot of the guys. So congratulations on your title. I noticed very quickly before we wrap up the stream, the boss man, James Bostock, has joined the booth. I don't know if James wants to speak.
No, I asked James to come in here. He has to come in here. He's the boss man. He's the one that puts everything behind the scenes. So, yeah, absolutely.
Right, boys.
James?
How are we? You all right?
Is there you asked James to be here, though?
I did. No, of course, because he's put the whole series on. And...
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you wanted to ask.
No, James. I wanted to speak to James because I wanted James to obviously just have the final thoughts of this, because he's put so much effort into this all season long, and I want you to give us a lovely recap there, James, of how you found season 3.
Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can, James.
How are you both? You all right?
Grand, sir. Yes. We wanted your thoughts. Your thoughts of the Sim Racing season 3 here at the moment, my friend, all season long.
Yeah, having a bit of a nightmare at the minute because the results tables have just decided to glitch up. So I was trying to get the lads the results done so that we could have confirmed all the positions finished, but it's not meant to be. So it's been a really good season. Thank you. It's only our 3rd season in iRacing and running the league, so fantastic turnout. I mean, to finish the season with 40 drivers on track at the last round. Because I think, as you guys know, these things normally drop away, don't they, towards the end? 40 drivers on track for the last round. I think we've had some cracking racing. We've had lots of beef between us all. Lots of arguments in stewards, but overall, brilliant racing. And I think probably the main thing is it's just such a fantastic group of lads to race with. The banter's absolutely fantastic. We get on and have a good laugh. All been really good, and big shout out to you guys for doing the comms every week. I think all of us as drivers look forward to watching it back. I'm sure we don't look forward to when Biggles is putting our spins on replay over and over and over again. But yeah, I mean, that's all part of it. So yeah, big shout out to you guys for doing the comms, and also just a few other people to mention. There's a few guys that have given up their time to do the stewards for us every week, and that's not an easy job. It's not, people don't really thank you for casting judgment on on their incidents, shall we say. So, there's 7 stewards in total. So thank you to all of them, and also to the series sponsors. So we've got Kame, who have produced the trophies for us for season 3. We've got Medius and Keenan Eco Energy. That's Russ Jacks and Chris Keenan. So big thanks to them because they contributed a little bit, which enabled us to do the incident rating vouchers. Petek and GP2 Group that I know quite well. Also to sponsor things to be able for us to do what we've done, and anybody else really and the drivers of course for turning up week in week out and putting a good show on. So season 3 been great, and season 4 we're looking forward to season 4. We've got 2 weeks of pre-season, and we've got a full grid of 60 drivers signed up for season 4 as well, which is to have a full grid for season 4 2 weeks before you finish season 3 is pretty fantastic really. So yeah, big shout out to everybody involved. It's not just me, it's all the lads that get involved and do their little bit. So yeah, fair play, thanks a lot.
You do, and speaking and topping on all that you said, of course, I didn't realise how many stewards were involved. And that's grand, actually. That's a lot. Not a lot of leagues do that one. And on top of it, we're showing the season 4 at the moment. So our pre-season starts obviously Thursday, the 29th of February. So it's just around the corner, of course, and you're going to have the 3 classes that the drivers had mentioned before there. You got the scan there, so we all got a phone there. Just scan that, get the information there. Are there still any places left for anybody to sign up there, James?
Not at the moment. No, we've
closed.
Got all 60.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got all 60 places taken. But I mean, as you usually find with these things, people and work commitments. We get asked now and again if people can withdraw, which of course they can. And if they do withdraw before we start, we kind of refund them their entry fee. Got a couple of people waiting for a seat, but we also have a Monday social league on a Monday evening. So we use that as a practice. The calendar follows the same calendar as the main season. And that's really for anybody that wants to just kind of get involved, jump on track with us all. You've got to be able to take a bit of banter because there's quite a bit of stick goes around, as you might imagine. But yeah, we run like a GT3 social league on a Monday. So if anybody is interested in kind of getting on track with us for a bit and maybe joining us in season 5, what will be, everybody's more than welcome. Really great bunch of guys, and being a bit of a novice myself, I have to say there's some fantastic lads in the Discord that give you loads of help and advice on hardware setups and wheels and pedals and absolutely everything. We've got a lad that does the liveries for people, Ashley Brooks, that's going to be working with us next season. Some people pay him for them, other people's don't. I can see Tristan still.
James.
Yeah, that's been a bit of a long-standing joke all season, but yeah, really great bunch of lads. So if anybody wants to get involved with us, everybody's welcome.
And yeah, all I want to say is thanks to you, James, for putting on this fantastic league. I mean, there are loads of GT3 leagues out there, but this is such a great one. There's so many great guys. As you mentioned, there's some great discussions, some of them between the drivers, post-race incidents, and you can just tell that a lot of it is just in good spirit. But yeah, thanks to you, James. Thanks to everyone who's been driving. Thanks to everyone in the league for a fantastic season. And we wish you all the best in season 4. I mean, only a couple of weeks to go. It's going to be very exciting to see who comes out top. 60 drivers, 3 classes. I'm sure it's going to be absolutely incredible. But from myself and Dean, I'm sure, big thanks to you personally, James, for all that you've done, all the help that you've given us when trying to set up the broadcast, giving us all the thumbnails and all of that pizzazz. But yeah, I think there's not much more to say than thank you. And stick around for the Evolution Sim Racing. Keep an eye on the for a lot of the drivers and a lot of the ESR guys for season 4, and make sure you tune in for that, because it's going to be such an exciting series. 8 rounds starting in a few weeks' time and culminating, I believe, at Mugello, isn't it? Season 4, where great race a couple of weeks ago. But from myself and from Dean, thanks to the league, thanks to everyone who's tuned in over the course of the season, and thanks to the drivers. And ESL will be back in a few weeks' time for the start of Season 4, which will surely be bigger and better than ever.